It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
No place I'd rather be, and no better man to do it with than my boy Ice.
Let's go,
and
baby.
We are at Memorial, live from Dublin. We are at the halfway house. I'm about to go full Spalding Smales and get nothing like it. I got John in here serving up the meals. I've got a menu board at the lake house, and we've got a picturesque view here of number 9 green. Rothman and Ice live at Memorial again, my man.
Beautiful.
50th one here at Jack's house, and it should be awesome.
Should be awesome, man. We've already gotten off to a great start. Look, we got some chilly weather, but that's not stopping the vibes. The vibes are absolutely through the roof right now. We are very spoiled to be where we are today, doing what we do and rocking out with you another weekend here at Jack's Place. It's awesome, man. So the energy's high, man. You walk around, you just see the smiles on the faces, the beers in hand. The kids are here. Steph Curry jerseys all over the place. It's a beautiful scene, and I always say this weekend and what we do as a city in the fall on Saturdays down there at the Shoe, you can't beat it, man. This is two of the best things we do in Columbus, and glad to be out here again with you, my man.
This is the day for the celebs.
Yeah.
This is, the rest of the tournament is for the golfers. Today is for the celebs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got out here early enough, you got to see some stars. And I will tell you that Steph Curry attracts them like nobody else. I didn't think it was going to be that way, but I saw so many of his jerseys out here and kids. And I will tell you, I feel awful, Maddie. And I do. I really, you know me, I feel bad. The only chance, I saw him on the range, watched him practice, and then when he came off 9 to go to 10, there is a corridor there of fans. It's going the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be really honest, and I said this last year. There's a reason that sometimes they stop and talk to me. And it's not because I'm smiling and I look like an okay dude.
And you've won Emmys, and they know that.
It's because I can get them from point A to point B.
It's a get-out-of-jail-free card.
And it's almost like I saved them an hour.
Yeah.
Now, I do shatter some dreams along the way. There are some kids that will have to catch him after the round. And he says, hey, I'll get everything after the round. But I feel really badly sometimes.
Well, you're looking out for the show first, and I appreciate that. That's what really matters, is delivering good stuff to our wonderful listeners. But sitting here at the halfway house and right here at the green, he was with his dad, Dell. He was with his brother, Seth. And you've been around golf tournaments long enough to know that when the big-time golfers come through, when the big-time celebrities come through like Steph is, it is a mob of people. And that's exactly what it was. I was sitting here, and I could just tell that Steph Curry was coming through because of the amount of people that were here. And then the kids just screaming at the top of their lungs after he got done taking a picture with his family, going on to the next hole. Steph, and Anthony Rothman saying, Dikembe Mutombo, no. Rothman and Ice comes first, ladies and gentlemen. So we got that done. But it is funny, right, AR, that a guy that probably broke the hearts of a lot of these people that are here, forgive him in this moment because he is that big of a star. Because Warriors-Cavs for a long time, it's real, man. It was a real rivalry. Now he comes back to these stomping grounds, and he gets a lot of love.
Here's why it's a wash. It's a wash because Andre Iguodala is also here. So that kind of evens things up, right? Because you have the block.
Yeah.
And so that makes everybody feel warm inside.
No doubt.
You have LeBron's block on Iguodala. So he's here as well. And it's one of those deals where, like this morning, you had to get up really early to get here to watch these guys play some golf. And the weather's not that bad. It's a little clammy out here. It's not picture perfect. It's high 50s, but there's no wind at all.
No.
And the rain has stopped, and it should be beautiful. I mean, that rough is – I told you this last week. Imagine, like, the thickest rough you could ever play in. And you got that in your mind?
I'm there.
Okay, now double it.
Okay.
And now that's what these
Jack's
guys
place
are playing.
this weekend.
Yeah. Sand wedge sideways. You getting that stuff, you're out of the hole. Just pick up. You're in your pocket. Go to the next one. But that walk from 9 green to 10 tee is one of my favorites. And we're at the halfway house, which is amazing in itself. So we'll have a really good time. So here's what we'll do. I've got a few walk-and talks with Peyton Manning.
That works.
Steph, if you can hear him over the screaming kids, I'm not sure you will.
It was wild. People were saying, you said that people were throwing jerseys and stuff at him just to try to get him to sign anything.
Underwear, jerseys,
anything,
I wasn't sure.
Right.
They all look the same. And then we have Larry Fitzgerald, who I will tell you, so Larry Fitzgerald, for people who don't know, lifelong Arizona Cardinal, played in the Super Bowl, had
Panther. Pitt Panther, right?
Yes, Pitt Panther back in early 2000s.
Yep.
And so Larry grew up in Minnesota. I don't know if you knew this, but Larry was a ball boy for the Vikes.
I did not know that.
When Denny Green was there and when Randy and Chris were doing their thing as Vikings.
That's awesome.
He was a ball boy.
Okay.
All right. So Larry in that Super Bowl was at 42-43 against the Steelers. So TLC will love this story. So Larry scores what I believe, what a lot of people believe, was the game-winning touchdown. It was the go-ahead touchdown with about 2:30 to go. And that led to perhaps the greatest catch in the history of football. And I've seen Dwight Clark, and I've seen a lot of them. But Santonio Holmes in the corner, you could give the credit to Roethlisberger. I don't know if anybody could have done that. But I think if you could dream it up, Santonio Holmes leaning out of bounds, toes in, last second of the Super Bowl.
Amazing.
Name me a better one.
I don't think I can.
Lynn Swann in the Super Bowl was unbelievable against the Cowboys.
They're all in that pot. They're all in the same pot. You pick any one of those, you can't go wrong. But that image is burned in my head as a kid growing up watching that moment.
So I made a stupid mistake. I brought it up. And he said, you'll hear it later.
Okay, can't wait.
So I'll tease it this way. Larry Fitzgerald has a lot of Ohio State Buckeyes living rent-free in that brain of his still. Now, he'll have the last laugh because he's going to be in Canton sooner than later, for sure. Peyton, you'll hear him about 12:30 today. I asked him what the obvious question is, to give me a scouting report on his nephew.
Sure.
He's going to be coming here in late August. I got a feeling he's going to sidestep this.
Okay.
I mean, I already know, but I'm telling you that...
Got to protect the nephew. He doesn't
do it going in.
Doesn't want to give Ryan Day any goods. Speaking of Ryan Day, Day was out here today with old Nick Saban. Those guys are linking up together.
That is unbelievable because I don't know if Nick knew they were playing together, and they dragged Nick up there to take a picture with Ryan in the national championship trophy.
Yeah.
And then...
I think if you're Ryan Day... You take Nick Saban out to lunch, you take him out to dinner today and say, you know what, that Caleb Downs kid, maybe my quarterback of the future, and Julian Sand, and one of my starting centers.
Thank you for retiring.
Lineman. Yeah, thank you for walking away and sending those kids up to Columbus. But that's the who's who of who is here today at a Pro-Am. So you nailed it, right? Today is about the celebrities because they are all over the place. Last year it was really cool. Chris Pratt, Rob Lowe, Andre Iguodala. This year you turn the page, Peyton Manning, Steph Curry. The list goes on and on. So they all want to come out to Jack's Place, honor one of the best to ever do it, this amazing course and this amazing city. And so, yeah, man, blessed to be here. Couldn't wait to get here and can't wait to be here the rest of the weekend.
So, yeah, my boy Rob Lowe is here, but he was on the other side of the course, so I couldn't see him.
Yeah.
And I believe we had Chris O'Donnell here as well. Chris O'Donnell may not be a big name to a lot of people, but he was in a great movie, Son of a Woman, with Al Pacino. And he played Robin.
And Batman.
In
Batman and Robin.
With, ironically, was that the Val Kilmer Batman?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I can't believe he's 54 already.
Didn't catch up with him
54 already.
Yeah.
Oh, good, man. You put in some good work. Don't worry about it.
Thanks,
you smashed kids' dreams along the way.
Yes, Shattered Dreams. That's my nickname. All right, so you'll have Manning today. We'll have Steph. You'll hear from him.
Yeah.
And then Larry, of course, you'll hear from him coming up very, very shortly in the show. I was looking over the odds this year.
Yeah, who you rolling
and
with?
I really have no clue right now. Let's make this a non-Scotty Scheffler.
I'm in on that. I'm in on that.
Let's not just do the. I'm okay if you think he's going to win. That's fine.
Right.
Won it last year. Here's what I'll tell you.
Yes.
We haven't had a back-to-back champion at this place since. Anybody? Bueller? Anyone?
Tiger?
Anybody? Ding, ding. My boy, Matty Ice. And when Tiger won in 99, 2000, and 01, so his back-to-back was 2001, he's the only one.
Wow.
We've never had a back-to-back champion outside of the greatest champion that this place has ever seen. So go ahead. Take your Scotty Scheffler. Take him with the low odds, the non-interesting bet, as Scotty Vegas says. Unless he's got it parlayed up, and then all of a sudden Scotty wins, and then he's got big money.
He is giving you the yes, the nodding of the head. That is his plan. Over at Bet365, Scotty Scheffler plus 280. Second in line, back-to-back is Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa at 16-1, and then you get to Justin Thomas at 18-1. I'm going with a guy that did not win it last year, but has won it recently. And I'm going with my boy, Victor Hovland. I didn't bet on him last year. I picked him, or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Picked him to win it 2 years ago. He did not spend any money. But I'm going 30-1, Victor Hovland.
Yeah.
I was reading a story that when he comes here, AR.
You reading an article?
I do
or a
read
story?
Articles, yes. Let me get that right.
It is a story.
He likes
Old
to-
school's article.
Okay. He likes to visit the Shawshank Redemption.
He did go to
prison
Mansfield.
Up in Mansfield. That's a thing for him every time he comes. So I'm going Victor Hovland. He's won it here before. I think he can do it again. 30-1. I'm picking the Oklahoma State guy.
That's in it. See, now that piques my interest a little bit. All right, I've written down 4 names here for value, and I will pick a winner. So I have Tommy Fleetwood down here. He tied for 20th last year. I don't think he has enough history here, but I liked him at 27-1.
I like the juice on
Ludwig Oberg tied for 5th last year, but it's his only year here. So those are 2 guys that don't have a lot of history at Jack's Place, but he's 27-1. And then I wrote down Hideki, because Hideki is kind of a roller coaster ride. But he won in January, and what I love about Hideki Matsuyama out here is he's 3rd on the tour in scrambling. And I think that's a guy after my own heart. Don't hit a lot of greens, try to get up and down. And I think my winner is going to be Siwoo Kim.
Okay.
I think he's almost a top 20 lock out here. I would almost look at the odds on what the top 20 is for that. But these are his last 4 memorials: 15th, 4th, 13th, 9th. He's at 35-1.
I like it.
And he was 8th at the PGA Championship. So I'll take Siwoo shaking his you-know-what to victory here at Memorial.
Siwoo Kim for AR, Victor Hovland for me. Scotty Vegas, explain yourself picking the absolute favorite in Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah,
please.
Well, you guys, first off, I like the Hovland pick a lot because course history is huge here.
Yeah.
What happened to my picks? You don't like those at all?
Well, I'll get to you in a second. And here's the deal with Hovland. He hasn't been playing awesome this year. However, he is trending a little bit better.
He's
recently.
due. He's due.
Yeah, so I like that pick. The Siwoo shaking your is very
Shaking his
interesting. Now, Tommy Fleetwood has not won on the PGA Tour yet.
Do you
all.
think he's the best player to not have a major right now?
Oh, to not win a major? Yeah.
Think about that, because I think that's a storyline.
I think you could argue Patrick Cantlay above Fleetwood, because my problem with Fleetwood is he hasn't even won on the PGA Tour yet.
Yeah. Wow.
So
he's a dog guy.
But
That's why I picked
if
him.
you're betting this way, if you guys want to take those guys, I like the picks. However, take it as betting the tournament without Scotty Scheffler.
That's right. Correct.
Because Scotty Scheffler is going to win this tournament. He is.
Now, I don't like betting it that way, because then my odds go way down.
Because 3 tournaments ago, he wins the thing going away, right? He wins by about 9 strokes. And then he wins the PGA Championship by 5 strokes. Last week, he couldn't putt at all at the Colonial, and he still had the best weekend of anybody. So Scotty Scheffler is going to win it. And the way you want to bet this one is
Coach
parlay Scotty Scheffler with Alcaraz at the French Open, with Scotty Scheffler also winning the U.S. Open.
That's a heck of
That's
a
your
parlay. Understood. Thank you. As we've got Ryan Day,
Coach Day on the
green
9th
number
green.
9.
And he looks like he's marking pin high about 18
now.
feet away.
Yeah.
This putt's going to break a little bit right to left. It's going to break back towards the pond.
We got little Nicky over there, too.
And where is Nicky?
Little Nicky's at the edge of the
little
green over
Nicky's
there
getting
as well.
down into some thatch over there.
Yeah.
I think he just came up short. We can do a little play-by-play of this. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back. Maddie, the Aaron Rodgers hate parade continues, and I think we have a new Grand Marshal. You'll hear him next. Rothman and Ice, live from Memorial on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
That's our us. When dreams don't get in, that's our us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH. That's our us. When dreams don't get in, that's our us.
Get Mega May discounts at Coghlan Kia. Lease a new Kia K4, only $89 a month for 24 months. Or get 1.9% financing for 48 months. Or $2,000 bonus cash on a new 25 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoglanKia.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
$49.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. 20 cents per mile over. Tax, title, and license fees excluded. No security deposit. $400 disposition fee every cent. 1.9 for 48 equals $21.65 for 1,005. With approved credit through KML. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. N6225.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through May 31st, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now with Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down per $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
The Fan at 1460 ESPN Columbus is your radio home for Sunday Night Baseball.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222.
The Fan.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Getting up to the low 70s this afternoon. The first half of the day will see showers likely with patchy fog, otherwise cloudy skies. And as we go into the afternoon, the chances become more isolated. For tonight, temperatures down into the upper 50s. And then for Thursday, upper 70s and mainly dry with isolated chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony orders 3 milkshakes, 1 for himself, 2 for the dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice live from the Memorial Tournament.
Presented by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
All right, welcome back. Live at Memorial, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, Coach Day, Coach Saban just cruising through here.
Oh, yeah.
Day missed his putt just barely.
Close, man.
I think maybe it was the high side.
Yeah.
Which is the pro side if you're going to miss. You don't miss on the low side. Yeah, miss high.
Okay.
If you're the pro side. So Ryan Day handled that. No idea, but he looks like he's having a good time out here. And why wouldn't he? He's a national championship coach, and he's got Nick Saban kind of 3 yards in a cloud of dust behind him.
Got
So
to
that's
pick
pretty
his
cool.
brain, right? If you're Ryan Day, hanging out with Nick Saban all day, he's not a competitor anymore. You know, he may come back. I don't think he will, but at this point, if I'm Ryan Day, that's what this is all about. Enjoying some golf, obviously, but little Nicky, give me some of the tricks to the trade, big dog. How did you become one of the best to ever do it? That's what I'd be all about today. But that's what this day is about, man. You walk around as a Buckeye fan. You see your head coach is one of the best head coaches rolling with him. It's a very cool scene, brother.
Yeah, I think Nicky decided NIL was not an era he wanted to be a part of, it seems like. And so Ohio State fan can thank him for retiring because that means Sayan got into the portal and decided to pick Ohio State.
No doubt. Caleb Downs as well, right?
Yep.
Caleb Downs, he has another season the way he had this past year, and you're probably looking at a top 15, top 10 pick with how dominant he can be on the back end, and he's going to be in charge of getting that secondary in order with a couple other vets that come back. But, yeah, that addition, especially the Julian Sayin one, obviously could be a massive one because there's been so many guys that have been around that Alabama program or they cover college football that say that this kid's got the goods. And even some of the players that left last year, right? We're talking about how well he spins it in practice. So we'll get close to that. It's crazy. Yeah, we're about to be in June here soon. In a few days, and then we are just a couple months away from the season starting off because game number 1 is August 31st. It will be here before we know it.
So I've been on the wrong side of this story for about a month and a half, and it's not because I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. I'm not, especially being a Viking guy. But I will tell you that I think people are really, really just storming on him now. Like, it's not even they're not even taking the neutral anymore. Like, no one's even going Switzerland on this guy.
No, we're fast and furious on
They
this.
are all over this dude. He has fallen out of favor. And I understand it with fans, and I get that part. But when you get a 76-year-old Terrence Bradshaw weighing in, and he's a little bit crazy himself, but the former Steeler, you would think, would play it a little more middle of the road. Like, hey, can he help us win?
Yeah.
You know, is he the best guy for the job? I don't know. Like, Terry could have played that a little more down the middle. And Bradshaw now thinks, like a lot of guys, like Wilbon said the other day, that Aaron Rodgers is a joke. Now, I asked Peyton Manning about it. You'll hear that at 12:30. Not about that, but about Aaron Rodgers. He did play more middle of the road. He wasn't going to slam a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And Terry Bradshaw, and he was on, what radio station was this, TLC? I think he did an interview. Yeah, 103.
103.7 The Buzz.
103 The Buzz.
Take a wild guess which city this was in.
I imagine that's in the Steel City?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh.
Interesting.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Very interesting.
Does Terry understand? Because you know my theory about doing interviews out of town. It's like sometimes the old guy doesn't think like it can travel, like it's just in the bubble.
Not in this
down
world.
there.
Not anymore.
And so here's Terry Bradshaw asked on 103.7 The Buzz about Aaron Rodgers.
That's a joke. He shouldn't. That is just, to me, is a joke. What are you going to bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? I mean,
that's
that
not
guy
the
needs
Steelers' way, right?
No, man, that guy needs to stay in California and go,
Thank
go
you.
somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there.
100%. These guys on the show, Mr. Bradshaw, know I'm not a fan of his. We've been around each other personally, and he was not a kind person.
Now, he does not. I had to go over and introduce myself to him. He's not. I had to go, hey, Aaron, I'm Terry Bradshaw. I know he knows me, but I just felt like I better tell him who I am. Yeah. And not, you walk in there and you get in his presence and you feel like it's going to start snowing.
Wow.
Cold around
Personal
Aaron.
stuff.
It's cold as ice.
I'm
That's what
Terry
they're saying.
Bradshaw, 4-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Nice to meet you.
Listen, these things seem to be following this guy, whether it's national talking heads, local radio guys like you heard down there from that host in Arkansas. We have Shefty on every week. He told us a story, a couple of years ago of how Aaron Rodgers told him, lose my number. Look, he's a prickly guy. He's not for everybody. He doesn't seem to care at all, and he's going to continue being this way. But it is odd that Terry Bradshaw wouldn't look at where the Steelers are right now as a former Steeler and understand, while, yes, this is probably a one-year rental, 2 at absolute max, it's probably their best card that they can play, but his stance seems to be rooted in not liking the guy. And I think a lot of people are with him, and that's kind of the bed Aaron Rodgers doesn't mind laying in based off of how he's gone about his business in the past.
He's not all world. I never said he was all world. I asked myself the one basic question: is he better than what they got? And for me, that answer right now is yes.
Yeah.
It may not be a landslide, and that's why I understand why guys like Terry and Steeler fans says, why are we even messing around with this? 1 year of setting back growth to another quarterback, but they really don't have much, and they're in the competition business. And if he makes him better and he's willing to come in for the 10, 15 million, or whatever he's going to play for. Now, I said to you about a month ago, if this guy thinks he's commanding 40 million plus anymore, forget it. I would not do that.
I'm with you.
But Aaron Rodgers, at a bargain basement price, I think raises the floor of the Steelers. Now, if you tell me as a Steeler fan, I'm not interested in raising the floor, I'm interested in blowing it out to the basement so we can get better, then don't bring him in. I'm all right with that. But if you still have interest in winning football games, then I think for 1 year, and everyone talks about the drama and all that, yes, I assume there's going to be some drama. Last I checked, he really wants to win. He's still got some fire. He's not the same guy, I get that. But all I was asking is if you can get him at a bargain to raise the floor of your quarterback room, then I would do it. But it sounds like people just do not like him for his views, his personality, and whatever else, and they're letting that maybe lead the day on whether they'd even want to have a relationship with him.
You mentioned the drama, right? And I don't think, and I could be wrong on this, but I don't think Mike Tomlin would allow that type of stuff to happen under his watch. You can get away with doing those things over in New York where you have a rookie head coach and you have a franchise that's starved for any type of success at the quarterback position. So you're Aaron Rodgers. You go into the Big Apple. You throw your weight around. Bring me Alan Lazard. Bring me Devontae Adams. Bring me Nathaniel Hackett. That stuff ain't flying in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin's going to dig in and say, no, we're the Steelers. I'm a Super Bowl winning head coach, and we're going to do this thing together and meet each other at the 50-yard line, figure out a good plan for this franchise. And so I completely agree with you. When you look at who they have in there right now, sure, could you possibly talk yourself into Mason Rudolph going down the path of a Baker Mayfield, of a Sam Darnold, and getting another opportunity and being a vet now and learning and being on the sidelines and coming out there and going on the field and doing good things? Sure, maybe. I'll hear some of that. I'm not buying it. I think we know what Mason Rudolph is. If you're the Steelers, you got nothing to lose. You're bringing Aaron Rodgers for a year. If it doesn't work, guess what? You got over a dozen picks or right around a dozen picks next year in next year's draft to go out, bust a move, and possibly grab your quarterback of the future, because there's a lot of people that think this class coming out in 2026, Arch Manning, Sellers, Garrett Nussmeier, there's some dudes to be had if you need a quarterback going into next year.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people just want to just sidestep the circus that they not assume he is, but have seen before. I just think Aaron Rodgers has one more lap around the track. And if he does it with Mike Tomlin's dealt with diva wide receivers forever. They just traded Pickens. Like, all I know is if Mike Tomlin wants to win, he needs to at least entertain the thought of Aaron Rodgers for a year or two. If not, I'm okay with it. But it's one of those things that I'm intrigued to see if he has one last great run in him, if he can stay healthy. I know the trick is being able to move still, and he doesn't move all that well, but I'm intrigued by it at the price. When Aaron Rodgers said it's not about the money, I'd play for $10 million, I'd call him on that.
Yeah, I agree. And sign me up for a couple matchups a year against Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. And then you got the game that starts off the season where if he is a Steeler, they're playing the Jets, and they will host the Green Bay Packers at some point. So I think there's going to be entertainment to be viewed, whether it is good or bad. We shall see, but I'm here for it, and I would absolutely enjoy that ride.
Let me get your opinion on one more thing before we cut away for a couple minutes. So I think that former players look at him as not being dedicated, and that if you're joining a new team, you should want to be around guys all the time and building chemistry and be at OTAs and definitely be at minicamp and all that. And I wonder if this whole leaving the Steelers hanging is where he's really gone wrong.
I think that absolutely can be baked into it, and I think people can come off the top rope a little bit stronger the way that they are when you're not as great as you were before. So it's kind of the vibe of kicking a guy when he's down, and now people are taking their shots. If they feel like they've been wronged by him in the past, now you see a wounded animal, and you really want to take advantage of that because there's some blood in the water. And if you're a shark, and the minds of Terry Bradshaw and Michael Wilbon, right now they're coming after Aaron Rodgers in the water because they smell that blood.
Yeah, and that's it. I think they want, and Hayward said it too. I want you. We need you to want to be here.
Yeah.
We don't want to continue this courtship.
I think he wants to be there. I just think he's dragging his feet to get to that point.
Because he's a veteran. Yeah. Why would he? Why wouldn't he?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. All right, we come back in 2 minutes. My walk and talk with Peyton Manning. And will he sidestep the scouting report question about his nephew? You'll hear it next in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Maddie's looking all over Muirfield for a steamed broccoli and almond vendor. No luck. You're listening to Rothman and Ice live from the Memorial.
Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain Heating and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
That's a tough find for my boy, but he's a very industrious fellow. He might be able to find it. If not, maybe he can get a chef to whip him up a little broccoli and almonds or something. So the 2-time Super Bowl champion, Peyton Manning, back on the grounds here. Loves golf, can't get enough of it. In fact, I think he's really played. You know what? I did not ask him, and I failed this. This is bad.
Uh-oh.
It just occurred to me. I think his brother Eli just became a member at Augusta. Not that long ago.
I remember us talking about
and
that.
I'm wondering, I should have kind of talked to him about that whole guest thing.
Yeah.
Has he taken you? How many times? All that.
Oh, yeah.
Did not get to that. But we did get to a little bit of, Tennessee, little Rocky Top Buckeye action.
Okay.
And then what we know is coming in the fall. But as expected, he did the old Manning two-step, the old DC dip and twirl, I think they call that. Here's Manning walking with me from 9 green to 10 tee.
What can Buckeye Nation expect from young Arch?
Oh, yeah, like I said, you're probably asking the wrong guy for the scouting report on that. So I got to worry about not hitting anybody on this next tee shot. It's kind of my focus
Volunteers
right
showed
now.
up good in Columbus, though. They called it Neyland North. What do you think of those fans making their way out here?
Yeah, we got great fans. Obviously, we didn't probably play as well as we would have liked, but good fan support, and always had that great fan support there in Knoxville. So hopefully we'll we'll learn from it and be better this year for it.
All right, let's talk about the Manning cast. Long-term deal, huh? 2034. Did Eli have any special demands?
Yeah, he's very high maintenance. Obviously his, the food and the snacks he has to have. He's very picky, but yeah, we're excited. Look, we get fun to work together and talk ball and sort of, stay close to the game, stay connected, and get to do it from home. I do it from Denver. Eli does it from New Jersey. So fun working with him. We kind of see the game the same way, and it's been a lot of fun these past 4 years, and glad that ESPN still wants us back.
Can you wrangle in Coach Belichick still?
Yeah, he's obviously he seems busy right now coaching college football, so he won't be back this year. So he'll be hard to replace. I thought his insight was great, but we'll try to probably go back to kind of rotating guests and having coaches and players, which I always like their insight, but also the actors and musicians that the common criteria to be a guest is you got to love football, and Eli and I both love being around people who love football as much as we do, and all different walks of life, right? President Obama, Bears fan, Condoleezza Rice, Broncos fan, Snoop Dogg, Steelers fan, 3 different walks of life, and we can all kind of come together and watch a football game together, and that's probably the best part about it.
Give me a take on Aaron Rodgers. Is he still capable of leading championship football?
I think so. Look, the guy's super talented, probably has, arguably one of the best arms of all time. He's just kind of elastic. So I don't have any insight on that. Hopefully he gets with the team soon and kind of gets going. So be fun to see him back out there on the field.
Will you be coming to the opener, Buckeyes against Texas?
I don't know. It probably depends on the kickoff time. You got kids sports on the weekends for me, but I'll be tuning. Oh, it's a nooner already. I don't know. It'll be tough. Got to see what the Volunteers have also. So we'll see.
Best part of your game out here and worst part right now?
The rough is just unplayable for me, so not hitting in the rough would be the number one goal. So and then Scotty Scheffler reads the greens well, so I putted pretty decent, mainly because of Scheffler.
You've played with a lot of pro golfers. Where does Scotty stack up right now?
Oh, he's awesome. There's a reason he's the best in the world right now, and was a great host, real nice to Brandon and Anthony and my buddy Rick and Pat were our caddies, and so he was a great host, and you can see why he's such a great player.
Go get him.
All
Thanks,
right.
Peyton.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Peyton Manning, First Bank of Central Ohio, on the Fan. All right, so there's the first walk-in talk, and it looks like that his Vols will be playing also at noon on that day against the Qs, Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
So that's a neutral location.
The Fighting Kyle McCords, huh?
Yeah.
Orange, a lot of orange in the stands that day. Sponsored by Sunkist.
He just basically said, Matty, that if he had to pick between Arch against the Bucks,
you got to be
buying that.
Peyton. No.
I'm not buying that at all.
No, listen, no disrespect to Coach Brown and Syracuse after the year that they had, but come on. If you're Peyton coming to the shoe, watching your nephew in his debut as a real starter now for Texas, I don't think you're missing that at all. I cannot wait for that game. I know we're all on board for that one. I was looking at Texas and their schedule, so obviously it's the banger of week 1 here in the shoe, but another interesting game is going to be early October for them, AR, because they're going to go down to the Swamp. So they play Ohio State, then they take on San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. But that Florida game is going to be interesting because I'm big on DJ Lagway. I think that's a young quarterback that is on the rise. So we could be looking at 2 of the up-and-coming stars in that game on Saturday, October 4th. So Arch will get a true test of 2 of the best environments around college football early on with coming to the shoe and going down to the Swamp. And I can't wait to see how he handles it, man, because DJ Lagway is a dude I think will be a pro here in a couple of years. I think he's a true sophomore right now, so he's got one more lap around the track after this one. But those 2 guys going after it, won't be surprised if they're making a bunch of noise in that conference this year.
I mean, I didn't want to completely disrespect him and say, hey, the second Nico left, your boys are out of the rankings, man. That's not a place you need to be in Atlanta or wherever they're playing that game. You need to be in the shoe. And I would be almost shocked if he didn't.
If he's not here.
Yeah.
Yes, I completely agree. I'd be shocked if the whole gang wasn't here. Eli, they get him a suite. You let them rent out your suite for the weekend that you have over there at the shoe and take care of the Manning family. But, yeah, it's going to be absolutely incredible. And the support that he's going to get from his family will be there all the time. But you want Arch to know that, hey, the Unks are here for one of your biggest games of your career in week number 1.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised. But he loves it here, and obviously he loves golf. And so to be here for the Workday Pro-Am and hang out with everybody and have a good time. The Manning Cast is its own deal, as you know. It's one of those I watch it when there's not a game that I'm, like, super into.
My favorite part of the Manning Cast is actually when they don't have the guest. When I can sit there and watch Eli and Peyton talk ball. When they have the guest on there, you know that can become kind of hee-haw, and they just kind of go down different roads. But like you said, like, obviously he loves it. Eli loves it. They see the game. But you learn a lot when you watch those guys. So I'll bounce back and forth between Buck and Aikman. But to go over to the Manning Cast, I think it's great what ESPN drew up there. Both those guys are entertaining, and that's awesome, right? Like he talked about the setup, like down in the basement. He's out there in Denver. Just go right on downstairs, hop on national TV. I'm sure get a nice, healthy check from ESPN, and you get to do it with your brother. It's good living, man, if you can get it.
The fact that Disney signed them up to a 9-year extension.
I get it.
Like, maybe they wouldn't have to fulfill that if they didn't want to, but the fact that Omaha Productions signed with ESPN for 9 more years to see Peyton and Eli is pretty incredible, and something that those two dudes have, to have that kind of brotherly bond. Eli is, you and I have talked about him. He's almost like so goofy to a genuine fault. Like what did he say? A couple of years ago when they were doing the coin flip, and he goes, and they were flipping the coin, and I swear he meant this. He goes, heads, Peyton. What do they say? Heads never fails, right? I mean, like, I think he was being real.
I think he was, too. I think it's absolutely genuine from him. I'm here for it. Look, the dude's an absolute legend in New York for bringing 2 Super Bowls there. And, yeah, it started with ESPN with what? The old Sports Center commercial, with those guys getting the tour around ESPN, and now here we are with those guys being partnered with that brand forever. And under that Omaha Productions umbrella is a lot of cool things. Like, if you're on ESPN Plus, you can look up some of the stuff Peyton has going on with Omaha Productions and really tap in to football, because they got some great things where they kind of really dig deep on the sport if you're interested in those type of things.
All right, we'll come back and we'll talk about the MVP race in the NFL. And Joe Burrow already has an award. We'll tell you what that is next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm one of the at-home coaches with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. A lot of times people just come to me and they're like, I've tried everything. I just can't lose weight. And I'm like, you haven't tried everything. You haven't tried Awaken 180. And we're completely different. The biggest difference I hear from people is the relationship with the health coach, because we get to know you. We're there for you. We're unlimited support for you. It's not just somebody who's sending you a cookie cutter program. You're getting that personal health coach. You and your health coach will work together at Awaken 180 to figure out how to make it your new lifestyle so that you don't have to think about it. You just live your life. That's the main difference. Come talk to us and see how Awaken 180 can help you.
Thanks, Mandy. This is Scotty Vegas. Unlimited coaching, unlimited support. Awaken 180 is there for you while losing weight fast and after reaching your goal. Free support for life at awaken180weightloss.com.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Hey guys, don't waste time and money with low-quality online TRT that charges you over $100 just to start. Visit the TRT experts today at Low T Center for a free consultation and free test. The treatment is personalized to your body, and most major insurance is accepted. And you'll get the freedom to choose if you want in-center care or at-home treatment. Looking to lose weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment. The offer is limited, so book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
The Fan is headed to the Memorial. Are you ready for 30 hours of live coverage? Oh, it's true, baby.
Sponsored by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. TheWaterworks.com.
The best Memorial coverage. The Fan.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Anthony wore his cleats today. You know, just in case. You're listening to Rothman and Ice live from the Memorial.
Presented by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
No, I didn't wear the cleats, and I don't think I ever have worn golf shoes out here. But back in the day when they didn't have just the nubs, the turf shoe, really, and you had to wear regular golf shoes, I would never do that.
Yeah,
now, some people say
that
well, some people say the golf shoes are fairly comfortable. Some are more than others. But here's the difference, and this is why I don't crush people if they want to do it. When you hike these hills, and it is wet now, I'm not going to tell you don't get a little added advantage if you have some sort of a turf shoe or nubs on the bottom of those shoes.
I'm not mad at the new wave of the golf shoe that's come out. Like the Jordans, you got the Air. I have a pair of the Air Max golf shoes, and sometimes you can't even tell they're actually golf shoes.
That's right.
You just can't be out here with
the nubs,
the old school metal spikes on, clacking around on the concrete.
Nobody has metal spikes anymore.
Guy. Okay, good. I'm just saying, don't be that guy. Please do not be that guy. But I wanted to run this by you. Pro-Am Day, you know who's been out here. Of the people that are here today, AR, two guys that you get to play with today. Who are you playing with? Of the list of people that have been here, celebrities, golfers, the pairing you would want to roll with on Wednesday, the day before the tournament kicks off, who you rocking with?
Of the celebs.
Of the celebs that are here today.
Well, I mean, I think I would probably... So it's me and three others?
Two others.
Two others.
Two others.
Two others and a pro. So I'd probably want to see Steph up close and personal with people watching him play golf.
He's supposed to be the truth.
No, he is. He's very, very good. And I watched him warm up. Now, the people that are saying that he could make it on the tour, those people have took a sharp blow to the head on the way into the tournament today.
Hold up, player.
Because, and Dwayne Wade said it as well. He's like, let's just slow our roll on that because it's disrespecting the level that these guys play at, the pros, and how much work they put into it. He's a natural athlete. There's no question. He's got a lot of game, and he can hit it far. But let me tell you something. Put him in something that really counts. Now, he won the American Century. He hit the hole-in-one. Like, he's that good. But doing it for a living, like making it on the tour, I don't think so. But I'd like to see him up close and personal.
So the babyface assassin won. Who else?
And then I'd probably want to throw Michelle Wee in there.
Okay. That's your golfer? Are you counting that as a celebrity?
No, she's a celeb.
Okay.
She's a celeb.
She's a celeb. Okay, so Michelle, we, and Steph.
That's all I get?
Okay. Yeah, that's all you get, baby.
All right. I don't have the entire list of all the celebs here. I just have the golfers.
What do you got over here for lunch? What just came out of the kitchen?
So
for
John made me a grilled turkey wrap with fajita style.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
And it's incredible, and I want to eat it right now.
You can't wait to get the break.
I'm telling you,
can't wait
dying.
to get the break. So why don't you take a little bite, because you teased that old Joe Burrow received an award, and we're not even into the season yet, obviously. But I didn't know this was a thing. But the Pro Football Writers of America announced that old Joey B, your starting quarterback for your Cincinnati Bengals, won the 2025 George Halas Award. And this award, I did not know was an annual thing, but it goes to any NFL player, coach, or staff member who overcomes the most adversity to succeed.
So when you said that to me, what did I say? Do you remember?
What adversity did he overcome?
I said, overcome? What did he overcome? Getting robbed? His house?
He had a supermodel in the house that saved the day.
And then you remind me about some aches and strains and things.
It's been a thing. It's been a thing. Look, the dude was absolutely incredible last year. He led the NFL in passing yards and passing touchdowns and completions. And there were people late in the year banging the table for him being the MVP. I understood what they were saying. I happen to believe that the reason why those stats were so sexy, or at least a part of the reason why those stats were so sexy, is because the defense was so bad. And they got into these games and they had to get in shootouts. Now, he delivered. We know how great he is. He's one of the handful of the best quarterbacks in the sport. I just didn't think last year was the year for him to win the MVP. But this year, my goodness, if they get any type of help from their defense, which I don't know, to me it's still a massive question, he's going to be right there. He's going to be right there in the mix, and I want to find the odds for you over at
Well, he's in a beautiful spot because he has no defense, so he's going to have to put up numbers that are MVP worthy. There's no managing the game.
No.
There's no playing the time of possession game.
We're absolutely in shootouts week in and week out. At least that's what it looks like on paper. What it will be again, unless we get some surprises from some of these young guys. So the favorite on the board right now, Lamar Jackson plus 500. Josh Allen second in line, the reigning MVP at plus 600. And then Joe Burrow at plus 650 is third in line. Third in line for you right now. Anybody else you're curious about right now?
You mentioned Allen, Jackson, Burrow.
Yes.
You didn't mention Mahomes?
I did not. He's fourth in line at plus 750. And look, if he has his full weaponry back this year, that's absolutely in play. And I know I'm not saying much with that, but I think people forget how good Rashee Rice was before he went down. I think they have found their wide receiver of the future that's going to be an absolute monster, which will put in line both Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy, because we saw last year, Xavier Worthy, really good rookie year with the ability to move him around on the field, down in the red zone, the explosive speed that he has. But that go-to number one horse in Rashee Rice was not there, and I think Mahomes can go back to some of those gaudy numbers that he had early on in his career, because he's kind of been in the middle of the pack statistically the last few years. He hasn't been in that upper echelon, that rare air of passing yards and passing TDs the last couple of seasons, and I do think Rice could have that type of impact on old number 15.
So you brought up the right narrative. It's this depleted receiving core, that's for sure, that keeps him in that race, because he had less than 4,000 passing yards for the first time in 7 years as a starter. So he wasn't going to get the numbers. Now, here's where he is the MVP. He had 7 game-winning drives.
That's big time.
So when you talk clutch, Patrick Mahomes is still clutch with a lot less than other guys have. The Chiefs went 15-1, right? Or when he played.
Yes.
Right. They lost the last game we didn't play. So it's tempting to kind of take him based on the clutch factor. The one other guy that I'm very curious about that you didn't mention, and I want to get your opinion, because I think this is going regression or he's going to be the MVP. This feels like it doesn't have a lot of middle ground to me, and that's Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Because he got, Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
And so on the surface, I would say that picking him, almost a 70% passer, and the fact that he plays in Washington, and he's a force in the run game, so he's always going to get you the rushing stats. And if he can become a 1,000-yard rusher
and you know the touchdowns are probably going to be there, then I would say the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Where is he on the board?
He is right after old Pat Mahomes at plus 850 on the board. So you're getting a guy in the top 10. Vegas believes in what you're saying. I believe in what you're saying because he's just that darn good. Now, we did see a little regression from C.J. Stroud in Houston in his year number 2, but I think a lot of that, or part of that, was due to injuries, right? You had Tank Dell go down. You had Stephon Diggs go down early in the year. I believe even Nico Collins missed some time. Yeah, because I had him in fantasy. And he went down for a chunk of the year as well. So I think C.J. is going to bounce back. Jaden Daniels now gets Deebo Samuel to come over as a veteran playmaker to pair with Terry McLaurin. I'll tell you a guy who's a long shot that I think has a ton on his shoulders but just received some new help, and that's Dak at 33-1. Now, what this is going to require, I think, is clipping the Eagles and clipping the Commanders and winning the NFC East. But what we have seen from Dak is his ability to put up big-time numbers through the air, and I think they're going to be more explosive now, especially when you have Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Ferguson at tight end. So a guy that's kind of deep in the weeds for me that I think is worth a sprinkle now would be Dak at 33-1.
All right, first hour in the books out here live in Dublin at the Memorial Muirfield Village Golf Club, Jack's house. And coming up next, after a SportsCenter update, the walk and talk with Chef Curry.
Okay.
Cooking out here today. And I asked him a question. I'm going to make you guys think about what the answer is. And this is not something you can Google. You just have to guess it. And the question is, if he has, I make him pass the ball to one guy in history needing a game-winning shot. He can't take it. I force him to give it up. Who is he giving it up to?
Okay.
He did answer that question. You'll guess and hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Hey, look, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You know what I love the most about your store?
What's that, common man?
The way you treat people. You get to know your customers. That's why they keep coming back. No sleazeballs around. Just good, clean boys and girls selling jewelry.
Stop in and see the difference for yourself.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. It's where Columbus gets engaged. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Summer is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you'll be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. You want to beat the heat and keep the AC in your home? Get Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows.
During their semi-annual sale, you can buy 4 windows and get 4 windows free. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, and no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. So how exactly do they keep their prices affordable? It's a great question. Window Nation works directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon. So buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com. Once again, that number, 866-90-NATION, or go to their website, windownation.com.
Don't miss the Reds going against the Diamondbacks June 6th through the 8th in a 3-game series at GABP. Enjoy another post-game fireworks show on Friday, presented by PNC. Come back on Saturday when fans in attendance receive a Tyler Stevenson City Connect bobblehead thanks to St. Elizabeth Healthcare while supplies last. Wrap up the weekend Sunday with family and friends and some afternoon baseball. Get your tickets now at reds.com/tickets.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy.
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. We've got some day baseball going on right now. The Columbus Clippers are in Rochester. They're taking on the Red Wings. They're in the bottom of the 7th, and it's not going well for Columbus. They trail 5-0. We're about 10 minutes away from first pitch up at Progressive Field. The Guardians looking to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Colby Allard gets the start for the Guardians. Clayton Kershaw gets the ball for the Dodgers. The Cincinnati Reds, they're going for a sweep tonight. They're in Kansas City taking on the Royals at 7:40. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus beginning at 7:10. Hunter Green versus Noah Cameron, the pitching matchup. Game 5 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals tonight at 8:30 in Oklahoma City as the Thunder host the Timberwolves. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark Levy's office a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or online sleepbettercolumbus.com.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice, live from the Memorial.
Come on. Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
All right, first sandwich down the hatch. Next one will be coming this hour.
I don't think you took a breath.
And then I'll go for a third in the third hour.
Yeah.
I need a little bit of everything today. Stuffed a couple of those protein bars in my jacket. That's a veteran move.
No doubt.
I got a half a bag of sea salt kettle chips going here.
Yeah, did you taste the food there? Because my mom used to say, it ain't going anywhere. Take a breath.
She wasn't doing a radio show. I had no time for
Fair
breath.
enough.
That's
Fair
right.
enough. We had, what do we have here during the break? We had Max Homa come through with Michelle Wee, and looked like Max Homa knocked down a putt from deep. So it was a pretty good roar for him going on. But that's an interesting pairing as well. And some people think that old Max Homa's a sleeper this week. I saw a cool video of him and his son out on the range the other day. But he's kind of a dude, isn't he? You into Max Homa at all this weekend?
I was for a while because he was top 5 at the Masters a year ago.
Yeah.
And he's finished top 20 in every major, and he was a comer. He was a guy that people thought would kind of cash in, and he really hasn't yet, but he's been out here for a while, and so pretty cool dude. I think that he's definitely kind of a little bit of a fan favorite amongst the people that follow him on social.
80-1 over at Bet365.
Why wouldn't you sprinkle on Maxwell?
There you go.
I don't have his. I'd have to look at it, see his history though. Here, I used to believe you had to be somebody to win here, and now we've had. It's kind of been. There's been a lot of parity out here, so I don't think you have to be the who's who. In the '90s, you had to be like a future Hall of Famer. It was Els, it was Singh, it was Watson, it was Norman, it was just a couple. It was just one after the next.
Randy Watson?
Yes, Randy Watson. He was pretty good. Tom Watson, actually, I believe, a 2-time winner of the Memorial. So you want to know about Max Homa's history here.
What's that?
So I've got my trusty little green book here, which is the Bible out here. And Max doesn't have a long history out here. Played in 2019. Missed the cut in the COVID year. So he's tied for 37th. Missed the cut. Matty tied for 6th in 21. 5th in 22. Skip last year. Tied for 22nd a year ago.
So he's built some confidence throughout the years.
He's reached into Jack's pants and pulled out of us $1 million.
Yeah, so that's looking like $967,000 he's made here at Jack's place. That's good living.
Yeah, in 5 years.
Yeah.
5 tournaments. That's a career, man. So keep your eye on Max Homa. If you're asking it at home, and I think Scotty was asking me this earlier today, the cut will be the top 50 since this is a signature event. So the top 50 will make the cut, and anyone within 10 shots of the lead. So that's fun, too. And so there's your little nugget for today. You'll be a big hit with your friends when you come out when somebody asks you how many make the cut.
The pot this week is $20 million. Do I have that correct?
Yeah. Out here they call it the purse.
Okay, I call it the pot, the purse. You know what I meant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's right. 20 mil, 4.3 to the winner.
Yeah, it's a good week's worth of grind out right there. Wow, $4 million.
You don't have to pay for a rental car or anything.
Because it's really it's not just Thursday to Sunday. They get here, Monday, Tuesday, you get a couple practice rounds in, you do your thing. It's a nice, relaxing few days leading up to grind time on Thursday. But I like to look at it as 4 days of work for $4 million, $1 million a day. How's that sound?
Pretty damn good. All right, here's the question.
Yep.
So Steph Curry, the absolute rock star. I have no idea if you'll hear the questions or the answers over the screaming kids.
It was pretty wild.
It was a rock concert.
It really was.
So he's walking from 9 green to 10 tee.
Yeah.
And he was playing with his dad and his bro.
Dell and Seth.
And they're playing with, I think, Justin Rose, and then Ricky Fowler was going to pick him up at 10.
Gotcha.
So pretty amazing. So I asked him at the end, and you'll hear it, but you have to answer the question first. He's got to pass off for a game-winning shot. Anybody in history? Who did he tell me?
Okay, so
he did say a name.
The way you're asking is, I think there's a little trickery baked into this.
No, that's the question I asked him.
So I am going to go with what I think is a little bit of a wild card.
Okay.
In a guy that he's been around for a very long time. I'm going to go with his head coach. I'm going to go with Steve Kerr.
It's an unbelievably great guess.
As his answer.
I'm not telling you if it's right or wrong, but if that isn't the answer, it should be the answer.
Give me Steve Kerr. That's who I'm rolling with.
It's a great answer. Anybody else over there got from the gallery over there? Rhyme or reason? Dad? Dell was probably a 40% from deep.
Yeah.
Not a bad call. Why wouldn't you name your dad? So, Scotty, that's another great guess. Nobody else.
He did.
How about his brother? Anybody want to know what he's going to throw his brother in there?
His brother
was probably a better three-point shooter than the dad.
His brother's a good shooter as well. He did. One of the obvious answers is the second best shooter in the history of the game in the minds of some, and his former teammate in Klay Thompson. But that's too obvious. So I'm going to go.
Or is it?
I'm going to go Steve Kerr as a sneaky pick and an honorable mention, Klay Thompson.
Okay. Let's hear it. Here's the walking total. Steph, you ever get tired of this?
When the love from the fans is always awesome. I don't ever take it for granted, especially the kids having a great time out here.
Can you treat this as an exhibition, or is the golf killer instinct in you come out every time?
I have a good perspective on my skill level and what I can do out here. I'm always trying to get better, but always having fun, too.
Was that a first swing or a second swing out of that muck down there?
I'll never tell.
You almost hold it. Whose style do you love out here? Whose style do you love out here? Who would you love? What game would you love to have if you could pick a pro?
Rory's driving, Scotty's everything, and Jordan Spieth's short game.
You got it down, man. You got it down.
Steph, that was a great-looking chip over the water. How is this Curry family competing today?
We're having a good time. Like, everything about this is fun. Like, we feel energy out here. This tournament is unbelievable, so we're just having a good time. And we don't get to spend a lot of time together. So for all three of us to be together is pretty cool.
What goals do you still have in golf?
Like everybody, just try to get as good as you can and have as much fun and play with as many people as possible.
All right, last question. You got to pass off. I make you pass it for a game-winning shot. Anybody in history, who's getting it?
Right now, Jimmy Butler.
Okay, have fun. Steph Curry, 4-time NBA champ, 2-time MVP. Brought to you by First Bank of Central Ohio. Jimmy Buckets? Teammate?
I'm sorry, I'm not buying
but
it.
You were on the teammate train. You had it.
I'm not buying.
1 year teammate?
I think he is being a great teammate, throwing a softball to his guy, who will be back with him next year. But I don't believe that Steph, when he retires, if he had to make a list of guys with that question that you asked him, would have Jimmy Butler number 1. I ain't buying it. I'm sorry. Great interview.
Over Clay.
Exactly. Come on.
So Clay's about 41%. I think your first answer should have been the answer. Steve Kerr is probably the most accurate three-point shooter in the history of the game.
He was deadly, man.
Now, I don't know how many of those were contested. I don't think they matter. Because Jordan's going to draw a lot of attention.
There you go.
It was whether it's Paxson, B.J. Armstrong, Steve Kerr, didn't matter. You were getting an open look.
You were. Now, look, I know playoff Jimmy is a real thing. Like, Jimmy Butler elevates his game in the postseason, but the last shot of all the guys that he's played with, in the guys
in
history, in the bloodline, right, in the history of the game, and you pick Jimmy Butler? Come on, man. Come on.
I told you before, earlier today, I go, you'll never get it.
No.
But you could have. Then I had to stop myself because it is a teammate.
Yeah.
And then when you said, I wonder if it's a teammate, you didn't tell me you, and I'm like, oh, my God, he's going to get it.
And no, but that's awesome.
Close.
But, like, to your point, prior to the interview being played, you could just hear how crazy it was around him. And this is one of the most recognizable athletes, entertainers in the entire world. And he's out here. He loves this sport. And like you were saying earlier, the dude's really good at it, too. Like, it's amazing to me how he can be the best shooter in the history of basketball and still have this level.
You mean the best pure shooter?
Just shooter in the history of the sport. And still come out here and have time to not just mess around and be decent at this, but be really, really darn good at it. Like, I know Mookie Betts is another one of those athletes as well, outfielder for the Dodgers, is that this guy's a great bowler. Like, these guys are just pure athletes, and that's all they know is trying to just be the best at everything that they do, and Steph's one of those guys. So he's like he's saying, he's just striving to be the best he can be. He's probably got a handful of years left in the NBA, if that. And after that, I will not be surprised if we hear about this guy making noise on some type of golf tour at a country club or whatever that looks like for entertainers around the world. He's awesome, man.
Listen, I made it sound like it had to be a 3. It really didn't have to be a 3. I said if you had to pass off for a game winner.
Yeah.
And so the obvious answer is MJ, like 1,000 times out of 1,000. In 96, MJ was 43% from 3.
Yeah.
Over 82 games.
I'm picking LeBron. He's got more postseason winners than Michael Jordan, so that's just what I've seen.
Life on the line?
Yeah, I'm going LeBron James. I mean,
MJ
the numbers,
all the way.
The numbers say he's the most clutch player in the postseason over Jordan, and so that's who I'm rolling with. Now, if you're telling me a three-pointer, I am going to go with
Kerr. You had it.
No, I'm not going to go with Steve Kerr. I think Steph's too obvious. I'm trying to think of one that's a little sneaky that you could go with as a three-point shooter. Oh, that's a good one.
How about Tim Legler?
He was a sniper too. He was a sniper as well. I mean, Steph, just the shooting ability, because it's the range with Steph too. Like, he's making you guard so much territory, and he's changed the game. Like, that's the wild part is you see now where we're at with kids in AAU, high school, college. Like, everybody wants to shoot from deep. And
why did you tell me Grayson Allen earlier today?
He's a sniper.
Life on the line.
Go look at what he's been doing.
I know he is.
Grayson Allen. I'm not picking Grayson Allen.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. By the way, I just watched the Malice in the Palace, the Untold on Netflix. Insane. And you feel so bad for Reggie because those last couple of years, they really felt like they had a championship team. The year prior to the Malice in the Palace, they were down 3-2 to Detroit. Ron Artest gets a tech late in the game that ices that game. Detroit goes on to beat the Lakers. Then you have the Malice in the Palace the year after that. Ron Artest and those guys get suspended for a bunch of games, and Reggie Miller gets his heart ripped out because he finally felt like year 17, year 18, I could win a ring, and he never did.
Matty, just remember one thing.
Yeah.
It's only a shoe until my son puts his foot in it.
There you go.
That's right. MJ's the answer. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, next week,
it's all LeBron,
next month.
LeBron's the best player to ever do it, brother.
We come back with Ins and Outs, live at Memorial on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $514 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. Sundays at 11, it's The Fan Call-In Show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're welcome.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Getting up to the low 70s this afternoon. The first half of the day will see showers likely with patchy fog, otherwise cloudy skies. And as we go into the afternoon, the chances become more isolated. For tonight, temperatures down into the upper 50s. And then for Thursday, upper 70s and mainly dry with isolated chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
All right, before you get to ins and outs, TLC, I'm going to read a text I got from a buddy of mine, Mad Max. He listened to the Steph Curry interview.
What up, Mad Max?
Should I read it verbatim?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a Southern glaze, that interview. And he said it really was a glaze to get Jimmy back to the Bay. That's what that answer was.
Listen, I don't blame Steph if that is the case, because Jimmy is probably going to be your best option of getting closer to a championship, right? So you want to have old Jimmy back with Draymond in the gang out there in the Bay, because I don't know who else you could bring in that could provide that type of stability the way Jimmy did. So listen, I don't blame anybody for glazing, right? Especially if you think this guy can get us back to the glory land, to the promised land. Glaze away, Steph. Glaze away.
All right, TLC, how are we feeling back there in the studio, man? Are we painting a picture for you? Are we giving you a little theater of the mind back there?
I'm able to see the YouTube feed right behind you. And now that I'm talking, now my face is on the YouTube feed. But I do see that you guys got a nice pond next year. I can almost imagine where you guys are on the course from the handful of times that I've been over there. So I hope you guys are having a good time. And you guys are going to have a great time the next couple of days when you actually have golf to talk about.
You know, TLC, we got a pool. We also got a pond. Pond be good for you. Natural spring water. Perfect.
Deal. Whatever you say.
I got a real quick TLC. I got a tweet AR that says, what about big shot Robert Horry as that guy? But maybe we kick it too.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I should, first of all, I should have said to you as a hint, it's not anybody that's retired.
Yeah.
And that would have probably closed the window for you a little bit. So, but I don't know. Life on the line, Robert Horry. I mean, I guess.
He delivered. He did deliver.
I just feel like I've got to make peace in my mind. If the guy misses it, you know me, the ultimate second guesser. I just want to have a guy that you're willing to just say, that's it.
Anthony
Die
Rothman,
on the hill.
The ultimate second guesser.
Like, I feel like if it's MJ and he misses, I can handle that.
You can live with that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I've always said this, too.
You said Luke Kennard, I think.
No, that was our boy Jacob over there. He said he heard you say Luke Kennard, and he perked up.
You liked it?
He's a big college basketball guy.
Good pick, right?
He's a sniper at the Duke.
Life on the line?
And he's got all
he said he thinks he
records,
Real
right?
quick, I would say this. Based off of his creativity alone, Kyrie Irving can score with the best of them with his handle. So if my life is on the line, I might roll with Uncle Drew, Kyrie Irving, because he can get it done. Three-pointers, middies, in the rack. He can make you dance, break your ankles. Yeah, Kyrie's wouldn't be a bad one either.
Steph missed a golden opportunity to say, I want Iguodala, who is also playing golf at Memorial today.
Literally just left the green that we are in front of. Andre Iguodala going to hole number 10 as we speak. So he gets some love out here as well. It's just odd to me that the Warriors are getting this much love in Ohio. It's strange. Sorry.
Well, Steph's big workday guy.
Oh, I know, but it's like, all the Cavs fans out here.
But
you got them back, though, to your point earlier. You came back 3-1 on them.
Yeah, you know how it is, though, because those kids, as soon as Steph leaves, it's back to, we're Cavaliers fans and whatever.
Yeah, you're right. All right, what do you got, big dog?
All right. I got a couple ones for you. So Lane Kiffin was on Feinbaum's show, and he made a note that he was blowing off other media members to go to Feinbaum's show, and it was a little bit awkward. So are you in or out on this being a real spat, or is this just Lane Kiffin having a little bit of fun?
We don't have a lot of time because you were late, but
I actually came here over the press conference I was supposed to be at the same time, so I chose you over the rest of the media combined.
so you chose being live on a nationally televised show over meeting a couple of guys who will still be there when you're done.
Well, if you put it that way.
What were you going to say to those assembled media?
I can't say yet. I'm going to do that next.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to reveal my whole playoff plan. What does it look like?
You have one?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not saying it on your show.
I don't listen. I'm
I want to
fine
help
with
your
that.
ratings.
I mean, this show.
Plus, I'm sticking up for Kirby. I just saw him walking off, and he said you were mean to him today. I just counted when they had him listed up there, 7 of the 8 last SEC championships, and you rip on him today.
I wasn't ripping on him. I was ripping on his quarterback.
Oh, okay.
I was just
telling you, he seemed in a bad mood. You used to piss off Coach Saban, now you piss off Coach Smart. And that's why I did your show instead of the press conference, so maybe I could get on your good list.
Nothing has changed with Lane Kiffin. It's always like some of the most awkward TV in America, but I love it.
I think it's smooth.
Thank you, Coach.
So it's better than those cookie cutter interviews.
How's your new quarterback going to be this year, Coach?
Hey, how's your third string safety? You know, I mean, come on.
Are we on the air?
Oh, I love every second of that.
First of all,
every second of it.
I watched that entire thing. It's about 4 minutes long or whatever, the clip that they put out.
Yeah.
And they have some sort of a long-standing feud, was from the USC days or something like it goes.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It goes back.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that they're quirky enough, both of them, to play that off as it's fairly genuine. You know my phrase, there's a little truth to everything, and I think there is a little truth to that, and I think they both like to kind of get in there and mix it up a little bit and not feel like they're mixing it up, and that's their way to do it, to kind of make the other guy look, put him on tilt a little bit.
I agree. I think it had a little bit of that relationship where you're needling your boys, right? Like, I don't really know what their relationship is like, but it didn't feel to me like that was real smoke between the two of them. I think, like you said, Lane likes to lean into those things. He's always been that type of coach that he likes to be kind of the black sheep, if you will, of coaches. He doesn't mind that. And Feinbaum is Feinbaum. He's never shied away from an opinion. Those guys are around each other so much that I think they've developed that relationship throughout the years to where he can hop on the set, they can get after each other a little bit, and it's not personal, and you can move on.
Well, here's the deal. It may be semi-personal, but if it was ultra-personal, he's not doing the interview.
He would never go on.
He's not even going on.
Yeah.
He's ignoring him. He's not going to do him the favor of going on his show. But it's kind of one of those things where I think they both like to kind of do it. And then when they get in there, like anything goes. But Kiffin tells Feinbaum he'll no longer bring up Feinbaum getting him fired at USC. I guess he criticized him a lot and went all in on him. But not enough for him not to do the show. So he did it, and I don't know whether he was trying to make Paul look foolish or not, but Feinbaum handled it fine.
Yeah. I think they both handled it fine.
His thing.
I think that was very entertaining, and like Lane said, that's better than a lot of his words, cookie-cutter stuff that we get from coaches when they talk to media, and it's just, hey, okay, we hear the same canned answer time and time again. I love that type of stuff. It's what I live for, AR, is that type of static, that type of entertainment in sport.
That's what it was. It was entertainment because we got nothing else out of the interview.
Right.
There's no football in any of that clip. So, TLC, I'm believing that's real. I'll tell you what I don't think is real. When Feinbaum said at the end, "Are we on?" I think he pretty much knew he was on.
That was a joke.
Yeah, you can't play that off. There's not a producer in the world that would let those guys go hot mic, live mic without telling them.
No, I agree.
No way.
And with those two going back and forth, there's not a producer in the world that would have bumped them off the air either.
Correct.
That was good stuff.
It was cringy. It was nice. Yeah, that was good stuff. All right, so those are your ins and outs. All right, when we come back in 2 minutes, Manny, Larry Fitzgerald. Walk and talk. No. Oh, no. Carp.
Oh,
my bad.
We got a different NFL player. Come on.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to bump my boy.
He's not going to be
general.
I thought maybe he was strolling around here. Maybe took a swim in one of the ponds or something. Come out like a sea creature and join us live. Bobby Carpenter in 2 minutes live at Memorial on the Fan.
With Progressive customer service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last two, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Good afternoon, friends. You're listening to a special edition of Rothman and Ice, live from the Memorial.
Presented by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
All right, we forgot a player in the Life on the Line. You want him taking the shot.
Yeah. Who do we
I just got a text from the baller from Springboro, Jake Ballard, former Buckeye great.
What up, JB?
And I am ashamed at myself most of the time, but now even more. He said Larry freaking Bird. And I'm like, of course.
I'm not picking Larry Bird. I love you, JB, but I'm not picking Larry Bird.
There's
a bunch of guys I'm picking before Larry Bird. I'm sorry.
I mean, that ball goes up. Larry's got the finger in the air. It's going in.
I don't know about that one.
Okay.
Tell JB I say what's up, though.
I'm a little old school, so I wouldn't mind. Our boy, he's either swimming in a pond out here or he's setting up at a party house somewhere along the 18th hole. I'm not sure, but our man, Bobby Carpenter, Morning Juice, he's always swimming upstream. My man, are you going to be spending a few hours out here at some point this week?
Yeah, I'll be spending the day out there. Unfortunately, fortunately, I have a speaking engagement tomorrow that I had committed to. And so, yeah, I'm excited about that. That should be pretty good. So because of that, I won't get done to about 1:30, 1:45. And, to get up there at that point, it's a little bit late in the day. So I'm going to – and it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. Friday, I'm hoping that it ends up being okay. Probably looks like the roughest day. But, yeah, I'll be up there Friday. Bright and early, 9:30, 10 o'clock, nice. Cruising around. I've got a couple of different houses to gallop. Well, listen, I'm going to go up there and stand and actually watch golf. No, I'm going to go up there
I understand.
have drinks, Rothman, and then, you're going to find me staggering around at 3:15.
I love it.
Yeah. Back when the Memorial was great, back in the 90s, and then you're going to find me over top of the remnants of the bogey, just in the giant tent city now where they've got the parties going on and the building's demolished with all your dreams and maybe a lot of the evidence too.
Yeah, listen, I spent a lot of time at the bogey back in the 90s, and I remember some of it amongst the hops and barley and resin and things that are floating around.
There
but
we go.
Let me ask you this. I saw your boy. Okay, that's some sort of F-14 Tomcat or something that just whizzed over us Maverick style.
Wow. Is that real?
Yeah. That was real, and
real.
I don't know what it's doing because it sounds like it's almost circling, unless I'm hearing the noise again.
Well,
I mean, the sound 10 minutes later.
This is the end, fellas. I loved you.
Wow.
I
the
thought that was
halfway house just shook.
I thought Cole was literally playing some sort of jet sounds.
No, that was
legit.
full Maverick.
I didn't even see anything, though. Did you guys see? I didn't see anything.
Well, no. I mean, we don't have a visual.
No,
I don't have a visual.
It sounded like he was going that way, but I didn't see anything. Sorry.
It was like he was going that way, and I was going this way.
Pilot.
Yeah, you're like, where'd he go? Where'd who go?
A naval aviator. All right, so I saw your boy Gonzo, Anthony Gonzalez, out here in the Pro-Am again.
He plays with Peyton.
And I started thinking back to the time when he was teamed with Santonio Holmes, because I talked about him earlier, best catch in the history of the NFL in the Super Bowl, and then Ted Ginn. And I don't know, does Gonzo not get enough, clutch narrative? Because he was as clutch as I thought they came, guys that I've covered at Ohio State, but he was teamed with Santonio and Ted Ginn. Where would you put that little triumvirate in Ohio State history, that threesome?
I would, oh gosh, Rothman, that's a great question. I know that you've been a part of a lot of great threesomes in your life, and I just got to watch that from the other side. It was more of a voyeurism situation, and it really had all of it. You had the deep threat over the top, the guy in Ted that could blow the top off, and you could get it to him on reverses and all kinds of things. They had Gonzo, who really doesn't get enough credit as being like a fully polished receiver, because when he was here, especially his junior year with Santonio, Santonio, they gave a lot of the deep midfield stuff to, and he was kind of opposite Ted. And then Gonzo roamed the slot. But Gonzo had great speed. He could get on top of you. He was just so gifted. And it's a feel thing a lot of times, sitting down in the zone, working guys off leverage and man coverage. I would challenge people to find a better trio of wide receivers, if you will, or as you like to put it, a better threesome.
That's right.
Bob, speaking of talented wide receivers, let's talk a little bit about Jeremiah Smith and what's next for him. I remember when Marvin was evolving as a wide receiver, there was talk that, hey, maybe you move him in the slot, you move him around. He's hard to identify for a defense, and maybe makes life difficult as a defender on the back end. But Jeremiah now in year 2, what can they do to continue this? The God-given talent is there. We know he's awesome, but Brian Hartline, Ryan Day, their jobs as play callers. What can they do to put him in position this year to keep this thing rolling?
I think moving him around. You saw him get the ball in reverse and things, but that's the evolution of receivers. You begin to learn your spot. A lot of times, he's been playing a lot of X. They have got the Z, and then a lot of times they call it now the H, that slot back position. And so when you move guys around, it's tougher for teams to bracket you, to roll coverages to you, especially if you're underneath. But it takes a guy who, number one, you have to have the aptitude for it. You have to have the comfortability and vision, because it's a different way to run routes. And so I guarantee you that's stuff that Brian's been working on. They always say they have their primary and then a secondary. And that's something that, hey, we'll flip him in. We can do some plays. We can do some things formationally just to make sure that people can't really get that true beat on him and slow him down.
All right, the other question I wanted to ask you is the quarterback situation and how much of a fight you really think this will be. And you don't have the runway that we've had in years past. You don't have the cupcakes. You got the big opener at the Shoe against Texas. Does that mean anything to you for Ryan Day and Brian Hartline? Is it always best man for the job and the most ready guy? Or do you think that he would go with who he believes maybe is safer? How do you view that?
Gosh, someone that make you feel a little dangerous but also safe.
Yeah, talent versus high floor versus potential ceiling.
It's so funny because I was just listening to some of the young guys have a conversation about this in the cold tub today, hot tub after. After they're working, yeah, you're sitting there. Rothman's got.
You were just sitting there talking to those guys while they were in the tub.
I was in the tub too, all tub together. I mean, it's a group thing, and it's funny listening to some of the guys.
It's a team sport, that hot tub, isn't it?
It is. Listen, that's where the great conversations always happen. Is in pools.
That's true.
Rothman, where it's wild and wonderful and maybe a little wet. So having those conversations and listening to some of the young guys of who they thought. Sometimes I'll just sit back and listen. And when there's older guys in there now, they've seen me around for a while. They'll look over and kind of see if I want any input. And I just enjoy kind of listening to it. But who they thought it was going to be, and young guys always lean on their guy. And then some of the older guys Lincoln, looking pretty good. He did some really good things too. Just don't fall in love with the fact, well, Julian was this top-rated guy. I'm looked really good in the spring game. And I'm sitting there in my mind thinking, well, when when Ryan Day made him live during practice, and this isn't saying that Julian, like, this is who he is in perpetuity, but, like, when they made him live, Lincoln looked better, clearly better in my opinion. Now, maybe that's because he hasn't seen all the live bullets and everything, and Lincoln's seen some more. And listen, Rothman, after that Cotton Bowl that Lincoln was a part of, I mean, it's not getting any more rough and rugged than that. I mean, it's full Al Roker taking it down. So I think the understanding of Ryan's going to probably have to go a little bit live with these guys in camp, and you don't want to get your quarterback hurt, but they just can't do the step up and blow by. Like in the spring game, Julian looked really good. There's a couple times those balls, he would have been getting hit in the chest. And we'll see how good that next one is if you get hit in the chest and if you still have the poise to stay in there. And so that's the things that they're going to have to work through and find out, because there isn't that first game lead up. I mean, Texas, you don't want to be spinning quarterbacks. We did that my senior year with Zwick and Troy. And like, both of them were playing good at times. Both of them struggled a little bit at times. And it's like, my gosh, like, it's not like there was a clear answer. So it was, it's just a tough battle. And I think he wants it to be clearly defined, but those guys have to clearly define it for him.
Yeah, no, that was obviously a very good answer, I think, because there is no definitive answer yet. But I don't think it's as easy as people think right now, because the idea is always to take talent, but at quarterback, Ryan always goes with he can't lose the game for us.
And that's another thing. It's one thing if you needed your quarterback to be a point guard that scores 30 points for you. You'd need a guy that can get the ball out. You know, like, you don't need a guy that is going to be making crazy plays. Just get the ball to your receivers. Like, one of the things Bill Belichick said about Tom Brady, why he was so good, he goes, he got the ball out of his hand. He goes, he can't move the ball forward himself. We don't want him to. But he would like a point guard, get the ball out of his hand. Don't put us in negative situations, and understand what the defense is trying to do to you. If you can do those three things, you're going to be pretty good as a quarterback. And that's what Ryan is going to be racking his brain. Like, can you just get it to JJ? Like, if it gets to him, like, down the field at some point, like, we're going to have a pretty good play. Yeah, but you've got to get to that in the progression, and you have to have the courage and poise to be able to throw it in there.
Real quick, Bob, one unit I've been thinking a lot about is this defensive line. What have you seen / heard about the new guy in Bo Atkinson that transferred in?
Bo's a big dude, like, really tall guy, good length. I think he had a couple huge sack games last year for Carolina. With what they were doing, he didn't really fit down there. But like, he's a big frame guy. He's very long, 6'5". He is kind of along the lines of Kenyatta Jackson with just his frame and how he looks. Probably a little bit more physical run set. They brought Logan Thomas in too. They got Caden Curry. Like, they've got some dudes. It's just really the exterior I feel fine with. It's, can the guys on the interior hold up, and can you find that probably third and maybe fourth rotation guy?
All right, my man, you better stumble and stroll by the set one of these days on Thursday or Friday. Don't worry, no breathalyzers here. So,
well, if you'll let me on, I mean, just like 'twas one of many. I mean, I want to make sure that you're going to utilize the skills, Rothman. I'll give you all that you need.
That's all I can ask, my man. Good to talk to you as always. Looking forward to seeing you out here on the holy grounds.
Hey, don't worry. I'll make sure to find you Sunday morning laying around on one of the greens.
Yeah, it'll be like the infield at the Indy 500 out here on Sunday. All right, my man. It's good to have you, Bob. That's Bobby Carpenter, Morning Juice, every morning on YouTube, 6 to 8 a.m., and again on 10 TV Plus. We'll come back with a Buckeye Bulletin. Our Stephanie Odie caught up with Little Nicky.
Yes, sir.
The former Buckeye assistant himself. We'll get his feeling next in the Bulletin. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon, even if this promo is playing in the morning. No judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. Leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling, and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that.
And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Loads and fees erode your retirement savings. Let us show you how to protect your nest egg. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text DIG to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful Fed incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text DIG to 42424. That's DIG to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, so Buckeye Bulletin time, and it's kind of nice, you know, why you're talking about Nick Saban in the Buckeye Bulletin. Well, for you youngins out there, don't forget he was a Buckeye assistant way back when, Matty, back in the 80s. And so he was here for a brief time as a DB coach and then went on to Navy and Michigan State and kind of just worked his way into the pros as a coordinator. And then, of course, back to Michigan State where he had the famous victory here in 98 against Ohio State. And then he was public enemy number one after that for Buckeye fan. And then to LSU, and then the failure with the Dolphins, and then on to Bama, where he made history, and he's a 7-time national championship coach. So that's why he's in the Buckeye Bulletin, because it's pretty cool to have him here, but it's even cooler to have him playing with Ryan Day. Mm-hmm. When you think about the timing, the talent, the execution of what that run to the national title meant for Ryan Day, I think when we look back in history, there's a fork in the road. There was a crossroads for Ryan Day that was happening, and it was pretty pretty defined.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The fact that he was able to rescue his season and then to turn it into a championship. It wasn't just about surviving. It was about now thriving. And the fact that they got to play together today was pretty cool.
You know, it really is. And it's amazing how one guy can walk away from the sport, as Nick Saban did, and that can be a benefit to Coach Day in Ohio State. Look, the roster before Caleb Downs and Seth McLaughlin and Julian Sand, it was really good already, and they may have won a national championship, but the importance and how great Caleb Downs was and Seth McLaughlin winning the Remington Trophy for the best center in the country, you had a couple pieces that came up from Tuscaloosa that really rounded it into form. So it really was cool to see one of the best to ever do it in Nick Saban and a guy in Ryan Day when he's done that might go down as one of the best playing together and getting support from Buckeye Nation.
What's cool to think about, and this goes way back, is when Saban was under Belichick with the Brownies. Like those two guys on that staff, and for a handful of years. And when you think about that 94, when that 94 Browns team was pretty damn good, that defensive team, and then he talked about that unit that he talked about with the Brownies. And some of the years that was like the worst years of his life.
Yeah.
Like it was really wild roller coaster.
It was wild. I just remember watching Saban when they were in their prime, or he was in his prime, that being Alabama with that university. One thing that always jumped off the screen to me was the physicality. They had absolute monsters on both sides of the ball. The C.J. Mosleys on defense, the Eddie Lacy's, the Derrick Henrys on offense. Like, that was something Nick Saban just really, I think, wanted to bring to the field week in and week out, is that, yes, we have the talent, but we're coming to knock your face mask off. And it was always a scary sight when you had to deal with Alabama. And that program's looking to get off the mat under Kalen DeBoer's watch. But up here in Columbus, Coach Day's got this thing rolling right now. And one guy that hopefully can continue that momentum is old Julian Sand if he goes on to win the job.
So our Stephanie Odie was on the grounds today, and she was doing a walk and talk herself, and she caught up with Coach Saban.
Coach, it's great to see you here. How's it going with you and Coach Day, a couple of national champion head coaches on the links?
It's great. You know, Ron and I are pretty good friends, and glad to see him win the national championship last year. And you know, I used to coach at Ohio State, so I got a little Buckeye in me. So it's great.
And seeing how, you know, it's a different environment after winning a national championship. You have plenty of those of your own, 7 to count after Ryan Day got his first. A little bit of a pep in his step. What was it like getting that first one?
Well, I think it's a dream come true, but, you know, we all reach new horizons, and once you do it once, then you think you can do it again, and you know what it takes to deal with the success that comes with winning, and that'll be the challenge for him and his team this year.
He does have a quarterback battle ahead, and you recruited Julian Sand. He transferred to Ohio State upon your retirement. What makes him a competitor in this race?
Well, Julian's a great young man, and, you know, I think he's getting bigger and stronger, but he's got, you know, really good touch, really good accuracy, a good judgment. So he's a really good young player.
All right, that's our Stephanie Odie with Nick Saban. Listen, Julian Sand is as talented as anybody on the team, probably maybe the most talented quarterback. If you watched him in the spring game, there were some hits and misses, right? There was the one that he was wide open to Graham that he kind of who cooked Scott in that out, and he doesn't really lob it. He kind of overthrows him. He did hit Max Clare down the seam for a touchdown that was on a rope. I mean, nobody was covering him, but it was a damn good throw. On the back end, but on that crosser in his seam. So he had some nice balls there. So the pressure is going to be immense for him. The pressure on Ryan Day to follow up a national title, maybe not so much. Maybe the pressure there is just end the damn streak to that team up north.
No question. I mean, listen, when we just had Bobby on and Bobby Carpenter, I completely agree with everything he says. Like, to me, it's not a slight. If I was a quarterback, call me a game manager all you want, because you know what that's going to do? It's going to get me to the NFL, especially when you have talent the way Ohio State has talent. So whoever is the guy, that's the job. I mean, you are absolutely taken care of when it comes to weaponry, and Lincoln and Julian. These guys are going to go through those moments where it's going to look rough, as you mentioned. There's going to have those head-scratching interceptions. Heck, we saw that from Will Howard last year throughout the season, and he's a guy that played a bunch of snaps. So no matter who you are, you're going to have those moments. How you recover from them, how you get off the mat, and how you lead in those situations, I think is something that absolutely should be a trait of an elite quarterback, is to have guys look at you and say, yes, we screwed up. I screwed this up. but I'm going to pull us out of this hole and get us back to where we need to go. When you have Cardell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, Max Clare at tight end, the running backs that they have, just get a clean operation going. And that's something I think Coach Day always hammers home, is make the routine play routinely. All the other stuff comes along with that. You take care of those boxes and you'll be right where you need to be.
All right, Stephanie also quickly caught up with Coach Day, who's pretty serious about the golf today.
Coach, you seem to be in great spirits having this national championship. What's it like being at the tournament now and being with another national championship coach?
Oh, it's been a tough 8 holes here, but we're picking up some steam. It's been great. Justin's great, coach is great, and we got a great foursome here with Lee. So just an honor to be out here. I grew up watching golf, and so what a tough course.
Yeah, what's the competition like between you two off the football field now on the links?
Well, we're all working together right now. So the power watch is now over, so we've got to get some birdies.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Coach Day with our Stephanie Odie out here at Memorial. Think about whether or not he even wants to play in this program if the thing doesn't end the way it did last year. If things would have gone the other way.
Yeah,
and then
who
think
knows?
about the alternate life that he's in now.
Yeah.
And it's real, the present about it and how real it is for him.
We always talk about players can play free, right, when they accomplish certain things, whether it's a major or whether it's a Larry O'Brien trophy in the NBA or hoisting up the Stanley Cup. That's something now for Coach Day. Yes, the Michigan thing is there, but you've accomplished the ultimate goal, and you've won a national championship. Real quick, going back to Nick Saban, Coach Day is trying to chase Nick Saban when it comes to national championships. Nick Saban is trying to chase you in Emmy Awards because he finally won his first Emmy Award this year for the most outstanding personality / emerging on-air talent. So you can give some advice to old Nick Saban with the Emmys you got down there in your basement.
They're at the pawn shop, remember? You listen to the spot. Very cool for him. These guys want to stay around the game, and most of the time the media is the best place to do it.
And they get paid handsomely to do so.
That's the other part.
No doubt.
Let me not forget that. It's not, quote, a hobby for these guys or something to spend their retirement years.
Yep.
I'd prefer not to volunteer. I'd rather do this. Guys, if you prefer to be in the house laying around than being outside and hanging out here at Memorial, could mean low T. It's very possible, nothing to be ashamed of. You know, the aging process, it's different for everyone. But if you're a guy in your 30s, 40s, 50s, for sure, I recommend going to Low T Center and get your T level tested. Don't waste your time. Don't waste additional money with low-quality online testosterone replacement therapy. It's going to charge you more than $100 just to start. Visit the TRT experts at Low T Center. You'll get a free consultation, a free test, and if you need the treatment and you want the treatment, it's personalized to your body. Most major insurance is accepted, and you will then get the freedom to choose whether you want in-center care or shipped to your home for that treatment and that convenience. You're in control of your health with Low T Center. If you're looking to lose weight, it's one-stop shopping. Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment. The offer is limited, so you have to go to book it now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Low T Center. They will do you right and get you back to feeling your best. When we come back after a SportsCenter update, you'll hear from Larry Fitzgerald and a Buckeye who still haunts him. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice live at Memorial on The Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm one of the at-home coaches with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Honestly, I think the thing I hear the most is I didn't realize how easy it was. That first weekly they come in, they're like, oh my gosh, I already noticed that I'm not as bloated in my face or in my abdomen, or I've been sleeping better. I've been waking up with so much more energy. I don't need my coffee throughout the day. They're coming in a month or 2 later and they're like, hey, like my doctor said I need to lower my meds. I'm losing a ton of inches on my waist. I'm buying new pant sizes. And we're looking at the scale and we're like, yeah, your visceral fat's down again. That's fantastic. And we're celebrating all of these wins. And then we talk about, okay, next step. Let's talk about how to maintain it. This isn't over. This is just the next stage. That's what your health coach is there for.
Thanks, Mandy. This is Scotty Vegas. Easy weight loss with results that actually last. With Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you will succeed and you'll enjoy the process. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Columbus Clippers were shut out on the road by the Rochester Red Wings today. 5-0 was the score. Those two teams back at it tomorrow evening at 6:45. Up at Progressive Field, they're in the middle of the fourth inning. The Dodgers have just taken a 2-1 lead over the Guardians. Teoscar Hernandez with a 2-run double. Jose Ramirez an RBI double for the Guardians. Something to watch in this, Stephen Kwan has been taken out of the game in the fourth 4th inning. No update on a reason why. The Cincinnati Reds going for the sweep of the Royals in Kansas City at 7:40 tonight. Hunter Green makes the start for Cincinnati opposite Noah Cameron. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus beginning at 7:10. We'll join it in progress here on The Fan at 8 after the Buckeye Show. NBA playoffs tonight. The Oklahoma City Thunder hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8:30. OKC up 3-1.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, back at it live at Memorial. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes. It was a great morning this morning. Not too much rain, a little mist. Stars came through, celebs came through. If you missed anything from earlier in the show, check out the podcast, right, Matty?
No doubt about it. Every single day. That thing will be available for you. TLC does an awesome job getting that out shortly after the show. Our podcast is sponsored by the wonderful folks at Bet365. So wherever you get your podcast, all you got to do is type in Rothman and Ice. That thing will pop up in your feed every single day.
All right, so if you missed a little walk and talk with Peyton Manning and Steph Curry, they'll both be on there. And the other guy that I thought was really cool to try to track down today was Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's an absolute, everybody knows he's going to be a lock for the Hall of Fame in Canton. A guy who played his entire career with the Arizona Cardinals. Talked earlier to him today, a walk and talk from the 9th green to the 10th tee. And what I was surprised mostly about the interview was how many Buckeyes this dude knows, plays with, thinks about still. Here's that. 11-time Pro Bowl receiver Larry Fitzgerald in Columbus. How do you feel?
Feel great. It's great to be here. Always wonderful to be here and see the money that's raised for the Children's Hospital here. The best field in golf. It's unbelievable. And also to see Mrs. Nicholas being honored for her tremendous work over the last 50 years. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Lifelong Arizona Cardinal, but a mini boy. I'm a Viking guy. Wish we had you with the Vikes, but you grew up watching Randy Moss and Chris Carter, legendary Buckeye. What do you remember from those days as a kid?
No, it was really awesome. And, to be able to see those great players and Scotty Graham and Robert Smith and Corey Stringer. Some great Buckeyes that played up there. So it's always great to be able to see those wonderful teams and be able to see great competition.
What do you think of the NFLers trying to go flag football in the Olympics? Would that have been something you would have wanted?
No. And if I was on their team, I definitely wouldn't want them playing either. It's just there's so many talented players here that, will have the opportunity to showcase their abilities in the Olympics. I don't necessarily think it's in the best interest of players to be out there. I don't know how State fans would want to see Jeremiah Smith out there running routes in flag football. You know what I mean? Like it's, you have to protect your organization.
We're selfish as fans, I guess. We want to see the best do it, but there are guys that do flag football for a living, and do you feel like the pros are encroaching on their space a little bit?
I just think it gives them an opportunity. You're making millions of dollars. Like you live a great life. Let some players that haven't necessarily had the opportunity to have that and win a medal. I can understand trying to win a gold medal is awesome. Anybody would want to do it.
You're back in Columbus, but I know Canton's going to be calling your name pretty soon. You think about it?
No, I don't think about it. It's none of that's under my control. I played, for 17 seasons. I did everything in my power to try to help my team win and do well personally. And, there's going to be other people that are going to make the decision on when or if I'll ever get in there. But when they do call, I promise you I'll answer, and I'll be very appreciative when that call happens.
You got so close with that Super Bowl. You probably had the go-ahead touchdown. Yeah. You think about those days, that game at all?
You're bringing back some bad memories. And, I really used to like Santana Holmes. I used to like him a lot.
Another Buckeye.
I don't like him anymore. He hurt me. He hurt my heart. Will Allen, another Buckeye. But the Buckeyes have been.
They're in your head, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. Beanie Wells. He's my teammate, but just a lot of guys, man. A lot of great memories.
Keep it going.
Thank you.
Larry Fitzgerald, the best. Second all-time receiving yards in NFL history here. Brought to you by First Bank of Central Ohio. All right, another fun little walk and talk with Larry Fitz.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. It's awesome.
I don't think, listen, there are a ton of guys at the pro level that caught the ball and did it very well. And we could go through a long list, and it really doesn't matter. But there's one of the most mind-boggling stats of all time. And I'd have to double-check and see if this is true, but I kind of remember this. He has more career tackles as a receiver than he does dropped passes.
Okay, that's nuts.
That's as mind-boggling as it gets.
Yeah, that's wild.
And let me put that in a little bit of perspective. That one of the greatest receivers of all time, T.O., Terrell Owens, once had more drop. I think he had 17 drop passes in a season. So when you think about what Larry had, which is 29 in a career, over 17 seasons,
shorthands.
It doesn't even make sense.
Shorthands to say the least. He's absolutely Hall of Famer. It's no doubt about it. He will be there. He is the all-time leading receiver in Cardinal history, and it's not even close. There's nobody even close to him right now, and he was one of those rare non-diva wide receivers, right? Just went about his business, lined up against whatever corner you wanted to put on him, and he was going to cook that guy week in and week out. So from Pitt to Arizona to Canton, that's going to be his story, and a lot of people deem him as one of those guys that just did it the right way, right? Just came in, great teammate, caught a whole bunch of passes, caught a whole bunch of touchdowns. But that Super Bowl, we've interviewed a lot of athletes over the years, and you have as well, Aaron, when you let some of those slip through your fingers, and I know, look, it's a team thing, but that's going to be one thing that I'm sure he thinks about a lot, right? He'll have that individual moment of seeing his bust and getting that gold jacket, but not having that Lombardi trophy and the way that they lost that Lombardi trophy when they were right there at the finish line of getting that thing done. Big Ben's dancing around the pocket, because that's kind of an underrated part of that play, too, is the time that it took to develop for Santonio to get into the back corner and for Big Ben to put that thing over three guys in the back end of that end zone, and then Santonio had to bring it home. I mean, that play is just absolutely historic in a good way for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and on the other side of that for Arizona Cardinal fans, it's an absolute heartbreaker. But yeah, I've always had so much respect for Larry Fitzgerald, man, because he just came in AR and just, it seemed like, really locked in on football and football only and wasn't worried about anything else.
I could sit here and make the case he's the best receiver of all time. And I know, and I grew up.
That's a heavy statement.
But I grew up in a Rice, and I'll tell you why. And here's how I'll back it up. I'm not just going to say it. I'll back it up. That Rice, as great as he was, had Montana and Young and Garcia. Like, he had dudes. Until Larry had Kurt Warner, there was not a lot. He did what he did in his career, and those numbers that I talk about with lesser dudes. So I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but my feeling is that Jerry was going to get those numbers, and he's great, and I know it because he's the all-time leading receiver yards. And so, but when you think about who they have, so I just looked up the quarterbacks that he started out with Josh McCown and Sean King. And after that, he had Kurt Warner. And they were looking at, he had Matt Leinart, and then he had a pretty good year. I mean, once Kurt Warner took over full-time in 2008, they had a great year. Made it to Super Bowl, the one we just talked about. And he was able to play with Warner for one more season, and then it was back to the quarterback roulette. This is a legend. He caught passes from Derek Anderson, John Skelton, Kevin Cobb, Ryan Lindley, Drew Stanton, until Carson Palmer came along in 2015. And then Palmer was a full-time starter, and they made it to the NFC title game. But that's the difference. Is it's hard. I can't argue with individual stats and the team success that Rice had during his career. But I mean, you could really make the case. He's second all-time in catches, with more than, I think, 300 more than the next wide receiver on the list, which is ironically Marvin Harrison's dad. And so second all-time in receiving yards, and with more than 1,500 yards more than the next guy, T.O., who I mentioned. He's also, I think, sixth all-time in receiving touchdowns. I got to look at that. So if you really go down the stat sheet and watch him with the lack of drops that I mentioned, and also, I mean, it's kind of amazing that he did those numbers with those quarterbacks, because like you said, it's a team game. Somebody's got to throw the football. But he'll go to Canton. I think he's first eligible next year.
And he will get in.
And so we'll be looking forward to seeing him down here and calling him a Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And, you know, it was great to hear him say, I believe a few weeks ago, that if Marvin Harrison Jr. needs me, He knows where to find me, and I think that's awesome, right? Because Marvin's similar to Larry Fitzgerald and how they go about their business, that their game is the loud part, right? And a lot of times for receivers, it's the other way around. Look, and I don't care either way. I love the entertainment we get from some of these receivers, but Marvin Harrison Jr., his time here at Ohio State, he wasn't a big talker. He wasn't a guy that really went out there and made it all about him. And so for him to follow the footsteps within that same organization with Larry Fitzgerald, and for Larry to throw it out there that, hey, I'm here for the young fella and I'll give him any advice he needs is awesome. And I think that's what it's all about, paying it forward.
Yeah, he was a presence today out here for sure. Larry Fitzgerald here at Memorial. We'll come back, and George Pickens and the trade, the connection, and the impact he could make. One guy tells you what that is. Next, Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination. Get Eco.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Aaron. Hey, it's that time of year again. What time is that? The time all the air conditioners start breaking down. Oh, that time. Yep. Every year.
Get Eco.
Like a swarm of bees. They all get together in a coordinated effort. You mean the Queen air conditioner tells them all to break down? Nah, they just get tuckered out in the heat, Aaron. Can we handle all the calls? Sure, we have a swarm of highly trained coolness experts standing by.
Get Eco.
And we have $3.5 million in new service trucks to get them there the day you call. The same day? Well, what if you don't call until... We'll come as late as you'll stay up to let us in. Same day. That explains all the revving engines. It's like a beehive of activity, Jerry. Do you know I invented that weird scoopy thing you serve honey with? You should invent something for ketchup, Jerry. It's America. Ooh, now that's an idea.
Get Eco.
GetEco.com.
Dealin' Days are back at Lindsay Honda. Lock in your deal in May. Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas. Simply pick your new 2025 Honda and enjoy 0% for up to 60 months. Yes, 0% for up to 60 months on all new 2025 Hondas, including HR-V, Pilot, and Ridgeline.
Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Lindsay's got it, and you're gonna save.
See Lindsay Honda during Dealin' Days.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle-of-the-night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The Fan is headed to the Memorial. Are you ready for 30 hours of live coverage? Oh, it's true, baby.
Sponsored by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. TheWaterworks.com.
The best Memorial coverage, The Fan.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Getting up to the low 70s this afternoon. The first half of the day will see showers likely with patchy fog, otherwise cloudy skies. And as we go into the afternoon, the chances become more isolated. For tonight, temperatures down into the upper 50s. And then for Thursday, upper 70s and mainly dry with isolated chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Free Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, back at Memorial. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes. A little Bet365 time.
Yeah, man, let's do it because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians getting active right now, aren't they? I think we got some live Guardians action at the moment. I heard Ryan Baker deliver a pretty scary injury update. Yeah, I've got Dodgers up 2-1 right now on the Guards, and they are in the 5th inning, I believe, over at Bet365. So hanging in there with Kershaw on the mound. We'll see if they can avoid the sweep. Speaking of teams that are
real quickly on the Guardians.
Yeah.
Did Bybee strike out the side in the first and then get hammered?
I didn't
what a
see
tease
that.
for me in fantasy.
So he went through Ohtani and Mookie and all those guys?
I think he mowed down the side in the first and then got blitzed. I mean, he's the only beaten up on bad teams. We're going to have to ask J. Lou about this.
Yeah, we'll have to get after it with J. Lou. Hopefully on Friday. I'm looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP of the NBA. He ain't messing around tonight. They want some more rest. They want to end this season for Minnesota. Give me SGA to score 35 tonight, plus 115. Thunder are going to send the Timberwolves packing.
All right, so I went with a kind of a dude that I pretty am sure he's going to be top 20 here this week in Siwoo Kim. I mean, I went really crazy saying that he'd get the handshake and the milkshake and everything that goes with it, at 4.3.
Yeah.
But I will bet Siwoo Kim to finish top 20 at plus 110.
Okay.
I think that's comfy to me.
Yeah, I like it.
I might second-guess my champion, but I'm going to leave him there right now.
Comfy like a little onesie. You can wear a little onesie. It's a little chilly day out there today. You need a little
romper
going on. Yeah, I'll leave those up to you on the weekends. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, let's talk about George Pickens and the Cowboys and how long this is going to last before he goes sideways. Because it feels like at some point that, and I know he's talking a big game and all that, and I mean, Kenneth Gainwell switched his number to 14 since it's now opened up. He had been wearing 21. The Steelers, I guess he had worn 14 in Philly. But let's get back to Pickens. And you've got one guy that says he knows what the impact's going to be.
A wide receiver that used to play in the NFC East for the Philadelphia Eagles, Deshaun Jackson, joined Kay Adams, and here's his thoughts on George Pickens, Dak, and that Cowboys offense.
Who do you think will make a bigger impact, George Pickens on the Cowboys or Debo on the Commanders, as far as taking out your beloved Eagles? Who will make a bigger impact this year?
Man, why did you do that to me?
I thought that was so easy because you won't pick the Cowboys.
As easy as it is to say, it's hard to say in the same sentence. But I think George Pickens is going to be a bigger impact. I think, obviously, Debo, I think he's a good implement over there. Jaden Daniels had a heck of a year as well, too. So, I mean, Dak, Dak's he's a regular season hero. I just don't know how he's going to transition into the playoffs. But as far as regular season, I think the Cowboys will have a better production from CD and George Pickens, if we're going to just talk about receivers.
How would you like to be called a regular season hero?
Yeah, let's worry about the playoffs if they make it. I thought that was kind of an interesting comment. A regular season hero.
Man, he's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong. That's what
Is
we're
your
waiting
guy
on.
a regular season hero?
No, my guy's a 2-time MVP and a Hall
Yeah.
of Famer. That's what he is.
I know, but the MVP is a regular season
what he is.
award.
Yeah, that's what he is, though, at the end of the day. Dak doesn't have any of that. So let's focus on Dak and Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert and all these other guys. My guy, we're good over here. I'm good with Lamar and what we got going on. We've been to an AFC Championship game. I'm good.
I understand. I'm
good.
But maybe Lamar Jackson's a regular season superhero.
No, Lamar Jackson's just one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best quarterback in the league.
All right.
That's just what it comes down to.
George Pickens, fantasy. You're up on the board. You taking him?
I would love to have him as my wide receiver too. I would. I don't know
Opposite
if
of CD?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want him as my wide receiver 1. Let me ask you this: of the elite wide receiver 2 this year, would you rather have George Pickens or T. Higgins?
T. Higgins.
You'd rather have T. Higgins?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I got a better. You know my tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Red zone at bats. I got to get in the red zone.
Yeah.
I like that in my number 2 receiver. And I think the Bengals will be there a lot more than Dallas will be.
There's a world for me to where the Cowboys' offense will be just as explosive as Cincinnati's now with this addition. Because I truly believe when you have Ferguson at tight end too, they're going to stress out the defense from sideline to sideline. They really are. Because now you have CeeDee Lamb who can be that number 1 possession receiver. Pickens can make those explosive plays, as we know, and then up the middle is a tight end that you absolutely have to respect. Cincinnati's got the same thing going on. Gesicki was really good for them. So that three-headed monster for both teams is going to be very, very strong. I don't think the Cowboys are that far behind Cincinnati offensively. The biggest difference maker is Joe Burrow, but if we're just talking statistically, like Dak's been one of those guys that's been up there in the upper echelon of stats. Joey B delivers and has delivered more, though. So the trust in him, I think everybody would agree that you would side with them. But I think that Cowboys offense is going to be special this year. They're going to be dangerous.
Listen, you called it last year. I was doubting that J.J. was going to have those numbers with Sam Darnold. I was doubting it. You said to me, he's above the doubt. And I would ask you again, now with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Would you take, if you're on the board, Jamar Chase is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You're picking. You have to have a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Are you taking Jefferson over CeeDee Lamb?
I am.
With JJ.
He is that darn good, and your head coach is that darn good of a play caller and getting things in order. My stance is the absolute same.
What about would you take JJ over Puka?
Yes, because of Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams going to be making noise over there in that offense in L.A. I really do.
Nico Collins.
Who did Houston add? Why am I thinking? Did they add anybody? Add wide receiver? Tank Dell's injured. I swear they brought in somebody else. Not that it really matters because I don't think it's that significant of a name, but maybe I'm wrong.
Christian Kirk?
That's correct. That sounds right. So if it was Nico or Justin Jefferson, I'm taking the best receiver in the league.
Okay.
And Justin Jefferson.
Boy, it's a mental hedge for me. I'm just not loving not knowing, and with a rookie quarterback. And I agree with you. The coach and the game plan will always be to JJ. You cannot not throw him the ball. But, boy, that would be a really tough decision for me. Jamar Chase is off, and I need a receiver. And JJ's there, and so is CD. And whether I would err on the side of Jefferson.
I couldn't knock you at all for believing in Dak more than J.J. McCarthy. I think there's a lot of people that would be with you. I'm just going with Justin Jefferson is just that darn good, man. Like, because this is where we were at last year. Look, Sam Darnold, I didn't have a whole bunch of reason to believe that Sam Darnold was going to be consistent for them, but it wasn't even really him. It was your head coach the prior year showing, hey, you know, it could be Nick Mullins at quarterback, it could be this guy at quarterback. Our offense is going to roll, and I believe that's going to be the same thing. It is going to be fascinating to see, though, like J.J. McCarthy is going to be asked to do something he really hasn't done a ton of, and that is spin the rock consistently. There's nobody that can sit here and say he can't do it. We just haven't seen it because his time in Michigan, they were 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of offense with Corum and those guys that just wanted to beat you up that way. But it's not even just JJ. It's Addison and Hockenson and that gang of weaponry you guys got up there in Minnesota. It's a good group.
Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I think he can be very accurate. I think they can design some easy throws for him. But, boy, he'll have some pressure. When you have that receiver on your team, you better be good. You better give him a lot of chances. All right, those are your pre-snap reads for today. When we come back in 2 minutes, Pat Murphy, Bucknuts.com. We'll throw that question at him about the QB race and how tight it really could be come fall for Ohio State. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Summer is officially here, and that means rising temperatures. You're going to be thinking about how you can keep cool all summer long. What's the best plan here? Well, one of the ways you can beat the heat and keep the air conditioning you're paying for in your home is to get Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. And now's a great time to do it. They've got a semi-annual sale where you buy 4 windows, you get 4 windows for free. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a whole house full of windows. No money down, no interest, no monthly payments until 2027. It's a deal that can't be beat. You're getting a great deal from Window Nation because they are high-efficiency windows that are also very affordable. They do that by working directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. But don't wait on that semi-annual sale. You buy 4 windows, you get 4 windows free. Free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. You've got to schedule your estimate today. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. Once again, that number, 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony orders 3 milkshakes, 1 for himself, 2 for the dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice live from the Memorial Tournament.
Presented by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. And sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
And 2 more for the Cats. Don't forget them. All right. Let's go out on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline and bring in our friend Pat Murphy, Bucknuts.com, and the Fan as well. Pat, good to have you aboard, bud. How you feeling?
I'm good. When I got asked to do this, I didn't know what other people you guys might be interviewing today, but then I saw the tweet, and I was like, oh, God, I'm in with this group, which I don't know if that's an honor to be included with some of the players at Memorial today that you guys might be talking to, or if it's more I'm just kind of here to cover up some time in between.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, AR signed an autograph for a kid on a flag, and the one autograph on the flag was what? AR,
all right, so I definitely ruined this flag. And he I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He had one signature on the flag. It was Steph Curry. And I said, and so you're in a fine, you want to be grateful. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You were a kid once. You know what it's like. You see some guys that are flapping their gums on the air, and you think suddenly they must be celebs or something. And so I'm patting Maddie. I'm Maddie, go. And he's like, no, he's asking for you.
He was asking for you.
And I wander over there, and I'm like, you do not want me on this work day, on this memorial flag. He's like, yeah, I do. So I signed it. So that's it. My signature, and I didn't go right next to Steph Curry. I found like the lower left corner to hide a little bit on the flag, but we'll see. But hey, you're in the lineup, Matt. Hey, as much as Maddie said, Pat, you were, quote, rounding out the field today, I think you're a very important man in our lineup.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Quarterback battle. We had Bobby Carpenter on at 1:30. And I wasn't sure that he would feel the same way that I felt about this, but he did. And there can be a difference between talent and safety. And I'm not saying that Lincoln isn't talented. He's very talented. But I asked him this question about how tough this battle will be for Ryan Day not having the ramp-up games that he had last year, and how he will choose his quarterback for the opener against Texas, and whether he goes straight, who do I need to win this game, or who do I think is going to be my quarterback all year who has to have the experience playing in this game, win or lose?
Well, I think this almost reminds me of 2015, and in the sense that you had Cardale, who had just won you a national title with your Urban Meyer, and he'd played so well in those 3 games and in that run. And then you had JT, who obviously had played well, coming back from an injury. You weren't really sure how he was going to do. I remember that fall camp, he had been kind of a mixed bag of performances, and obviously we know what happens. They went with Cardale, and then eventually JT takes over. I'm not saying it's going to play out that way, and obviously neither Julian nor Lincoln have the experience of those two, but I think that situation you just painted, could one of those guys, and I guess in this situation that would be Lincoln, just because of his experience in the program, would he be the safer bet for that opening game, get through that one as best you can, and then you continue maybe the quarterback battle if you need to? If I'm a betting man, I still think it's Julian Sayin, but I do think that this fall camp is going to be huge for both of these guys, and I think, just like we were saying during spring, I think this is going to be a bona fide quarterback battle as we go into fall camp. And look, this may take, like it did in 2015, all the way up until that first Saturday of the season before we actually know who's going to start that game.
Pat, going from Chip Kelly to Brian Hartline as the offensive coordinators, we all know Ryan Day is going to have his fingerprints on this offense, but seeing what Chip did last year, being around Brian over the last few years, what are you expecting for the offense? Do you think we're going to see a dramatic shift in how it looks, or still similar things in how they go about their business on Saturdays?
I think it'll be similar. I do think we will see a shift just because of personnel. We just talked about the quarterback, right? Last year you had a guy who was going into his 5th year and had a lot of experience, maybe not in that offense and that program, but you knew he'd played in a lot of big-time college football games, whereas whoever wins this job will have not done that. You're going to have a running back who's coming in from a different program, similar to last year, but you don't have the experience of a guy like Travion Henderson. You have the talent of James Peoples. We could go each position. So I think it will change some. I think Brian Hartline is smart enough to know to lean on his strengths of what's the best to get you into certain situations. I thought it was interesting when Ryan Day talked, I think it was at the end of spring practice, about, Brian Hartline has been in the headset for all of these games. He's been giving advice on, hey, here's what we need to get done in between series and things like that. So as much as this is going to be new to Brian Hartline, I think that it will be more familiar than maybe a lot of us think, just because we don't hear those conversations as much as the guys that are already a part of the program and on the headset do.
Visiting with our friend Patrick Murphy, Ohio State beat writer for Bucknuts 24/7 and CBS Sports, also here of the Fan. All right, Pat, give me a non-household name Buckeye who will be a household name at the end of the season.
Ooh, that's a good one. I would go, I guess it depends how we define household. Like, I think a guy like Arvell Reese, who emerged a little bit last year, especially early in the season. By the end of the season, he could be, I think, one of the better linebackers in the country, just based on the talent, the kind of see ball, get ball that we watched last year. I think he's one of the guys who's probably a bit more under the radar to people outside of Buckeye Nation. I think if you look, like Brandon Innes, I think you could throw in that category too. Buckeye Nation knows who he is, but a lot of people, when I've done some national stuff, they've asked, okay, how do you replace an Emeka Egbuka? And I'm like, well, there's a ready-made guy right here. So I think a lot of these guys have gotten in, right? Like even a Jermaine Matthews, people who have paid attention to this team know about him, right? As much as there is inexperience, I think a lot of the guys who are going to have to play big roles have at least gotten on the field, have seen time in games, have kind of made their name known as the next guy up. Maybe the exception is like safety. We're not sure who's exactly going to start next to Caleb Downs. There's a couple spots. But I think for the most part, it is guys that have already started to make their name known in Buckeye Nation, like the guys we mentioned.
Looking at the defenders that left going on to the NFL, who do you believe is going to be the toughest defender to replace?
I've been asked this already, and I've gone with kind of an odd answer, I think, and that's Jordan Hancock. Just because by the end of last season, he was doing so much for this defense. He was not only playing that nickel spot where he's covering a slot receiver, a tight end, but sometimes he's dropping back as a safety. Sometimes he's in the box. He's allowing other guys to get in the box when he drops deeper. I remember talking to some people ahead of the NFL draft that were saying he may be the guy that surprises the most of this group. And I honestly think that could be true once next season starts and he gets to get on the field for the Bills. Not to say that, a guy like Cody Simon or any of the defensive linemen, any of these guys, they're going to be difficult to replace because of how much they did. But Jordan Hancock, fitting into that role, and maybe the role's different under Matt Patricia, but if it is similar to last year, that's a lot to ask of a guy who's stepping in and doing it for the first time.
Were you happy when they came down with the old, as I was calling it right after the championship, seed them as you rank them? Like it makes just way too much sense, even though it was only 1 year of a short sample, that it just made no sense. I mean, they leaned that playoff so much in favor of the buys, and it wound up kind of backfiring on a lot of them. But now they're going to seed them as they rank them. Do you love it?
I do. And the biggest thing is I don't have to try and explain it to people. Like last year as we got into the playoff and people are looking at the bracket like, wait, why is this team here? And I think people would have gotten it after, a time or two, but I think this makes way more sense. Just because you win your conference championship doesn't necessarily mean you're one of the top 4 teams in the country. And if we're seeding the top teams anyway, we might as well use the rankings that the College Football Playoff Committee is putting out, because that's what we are determines the best teams in the country. So I think there should still be a reward for winning your conference championship, but I think that it makes more sense to just go with your rankings. And I think if you look at the way that the field would have looked last year, I think we would have gotten some really interesting matchups. Who knows how it would have played out, but yeah, I like this a lot better. I think it makes it simpler for the casual college football fan, and I think it will lead to less of what we saw last year with some of those upsets.
Last one for me. Let's talk about these running backs. Throughout the draft process, one thing that you heard consistently when it came to Travion Henderson was the league loved how good he was at protecting the quarterback and standing in there and being an extra blocker. We know how explosive he was with the ball in his hands, and then you pair that with what Quinshon was able to do, and that duo was absolutely incredible. When you look at the running backs there, is there a do-it-all back in that room, or do you look at what Coach Loughlin has in that room and say, Pat, that this can be another year of committee stuff going on but still getting some good production from those guys?
I think it will continue to be a committee, and talking to Coach Loughlin, I think if he has the guys that can do that, that's the way he would prefer to run it. With that said, I think a guy like C.J. Donaldson with his size, his background as playing some receiver and tight end when he was in high school, I think he could be an all-around back. And similar with James Peoples, the comparisons to J.K. Dobbins got dropped by some of the guys at the Combine, which sets a high bar for what James Peoples is about to walk into. But if you could get anywhere close to that out of James Peoples, even if he is sharing the load, you're going to have a really good player. I liked what we saw from Bo Jackson during spring practice. Now, he admitted that that's a part of his game that he still has to grow in that pass blocking, but we expect that out of a young running back. So I think they've got a really good room. I don't know how deep Carlos Loughlin will go this fall, but I think you're at least probably going to see 2 of them a lot, and maybe even a third.
Peyton Manning, Steph Curry, Larry Fitzgerald, and Patrick Murphy.
There we go, baby.
Batting cleanup.
Let's go.
Look, I do what I can. I'm glad you guys had me on. Those are some great names to be a part of that I never thought I'd be listed with. So check that one off the list.
Quite a foursome right there. Thanks, my man. Be well. We'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yep, Pat Murphy with us, Bucknuts.com on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, we'll come back. We'll tell the truth. We will cement our winners, our pick for the tournament, and you know what's coming. I'll be changing mine.
There we go.
Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone, and I'm going to let you know that right now, Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings is offering their best discount of the year on all their awesome sheds, pavilions, cabins, and garages from Weaver Barnes. These specials are only good through May, which makes right now the best time to order. Check out Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings' beautiful sales lot in Dublin, where you can see their displays and learn about all the options. There's never been a better time to get that project in motion and save some cash in the process. See all the details at AmishCountryFurnishings.com. Once again, that's AmishCountryFurnishings.com.
We've discovered the perfect morning ritual, the 2 for $6 breakfast sandwich deal at Tim Hortons. Every sandwich is made to order with a freshly cracked egg and melty cheese, just the way breakfast should be. Choose between savory sausage or hickory smoked bacon, served on a toasted English muffin or flaky biscuit. There's no wrong way to mix and match this tasty deal. 2 breakfast sandwiches, just $6. Perfect. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, single item at regular menu price. Modifications and tax extra. Exclusions and additional terms apply.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Summer is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you'll be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. You want to beat the heat and keep the AC in your home? Get Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you can buy 4 windows and get 4 windows free. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, and no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. So how exactly do they keep their prices affordable? It's a great question. Window Nation works directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon. So buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com. Once again, that number, 866-90-NATION, or go to their website, windownation.com.
It's almost time for the inaugural 9.71 The Race.
Sponsored by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
Run, walk, have a beer with Common Man. Whatever strikes your fancy. Sign up today at 971therace.com.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now buy 4 windows, get 4 free. Plus a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, first of all, so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Tyler, Chris, Jake, Scotty, Chef John, unbelievable. I mean, take a bow, my man. I know we're not back here tomorrow, but I will be. All right? I know the man. 3 knocks on that door. He knows. He knows what I'm going to be asking for. He's got all sorts of...
Chef John, 2 years in a row, treated us like
he's
some real stars.
An absolute rock star. But everyone really busted their hump out here today.
Yep.
It's no place I'd rather be doing that, so it'll be great. During the break, we were building the perfect make-the-cut parlay.
Mm-hmm.
So Scotty Vegas made us all pick a couple names. So we're going to do a 10. We're picking 10 total guys, all to make the cut. Just to make the cut.
Get the Saturday.
And so I've got Siwoo Kim, Victor Hovland, Tony Finau, Minwoo Lee, Akshay Bhatia, Tommy Fleetwood, Adam Scott, Daniel Berger, Taylor Pendrith, and was there one more?
Sam Burns. Sam Burns.
What's the math looking like on that, Scotty Vegas?
Here's what's beautiful. We are now up to 8-1.
Now we're talking.
We are 8-1.
Thought it'd be better than that.
Well, here's the thing. 50 of 72 make the cut.
That's right. And 10-shot rule. If you're within 10 shots of the lead, you also make the cut.
So, but here's the whole story. We were originally just going to do 1 player each, right? So 5 guys to make the cut. That came out to 2-1. Anthony says, that's not interesting enough.
Not juicy enough.
So we all had to do 2 guys. Do we go to 3 guys each to make the cut? 15 players.
I think let's leave it a nice 10's fine, 8-1. Let's see if we
how much are we going on it? Let's go. 100,
I don't know.
100 a man.
Somebody said 1,000 a man.
Oh,
baby.
Scotty's got it. Are we looking at Ludwig Oberg right here on green number 9, or am I making that up? I think that is Oberg.
Too short?
No, that's not.
That's
Oberg.
not him.
That might be Berger.
Yeah, that's not Oberg.
Okay, whoever this is putting in work. Okay.
All right, I'm switching my pick.
Okay, this is on brand for you.
Yes, it's absolutely on brand. I had Siwoo Kim, and I thought, all right, he's consistent here. I'm going to keep him at top 20.
Yeah.
I've got him at top 20 plus 110.
I like that a lot.
Okay, that one, because I think he's somewhat of that line. I can't get over the value. Siwoo Kim is 35-1 here.
Mm-hmm.
Oberg is 27-1. He's only played here once. That scares me, but I'm leaning into the talent that he is. And he was in the Pro-Am. It's not like he's just showing up on game day. And so I'm going to take the Swede.
Okay. I see the vision.
To get the milkshake and the handshake and all the spoils that go with it.
I see the vision. I'm sticking with my pick. I'm going to go Victor Hovland. You can get him at Bet365 right now at 30-1. Scotty, you sticking with your pick or you switching?
It's Scotty.
Okay.
Scotty's going to win this.
There you go.
And
Staying with the world.
Scotty picking Scotty.
If you want something more bold, I'm going to say Scotty wins by 3 or more shots.
I can roll with that.
What odds do we get on that?
I have not looked it up, but he wins by 3 or more. He's going to win this going away.
All right, you add a little spice to that. I like it.
So he'd be only the second player in the history of the Memorial to go back-to-back. Only Tiger's done it, and that was like 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And not only is he going to go back-to-back, Scotty says no one's going to even scare him.
Close.
Nope, not even close.
He wasn't in top form, but you're right. If there's anybody that can survive an iffy putter, it's him.
The claw. You asked him about the claw.
I did. We're going to get a few more of those clips out this week. Scotty says I changed his life.
I believe you did. Changed my life.
And he has a wife. And I changed his life. How about that? All right, TLC, take us home.
Oh, I'm actually doing this today?
Well, we got a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
No, well, or just,
I'm kidding. I have stuff prepared.
All right, we left you with 2 minutes.
That's all right.
I think that is Daniel Berger.
In fact, take as long as you want.
37-1.
Take as long as you want so I can roll this stuff over to tomorrow.
You know, Daniel Berger's dad was a top American tennis player.
Was he?
Many years ago, yeah. I think he was top 20 in the world.
Okay.
Yeah. That's awesome. Somewhere close to that. Let me check that out because I'll leave you with another great little nugget here.
You want a nugget too, guys? It is actual National Cheeseburger Day. So there
is
you go.
It really?
It is.
Okay.
It is. Just ran across that.
Scotty, how do you like your burger? Not the temp, but what's on your burger? The dream burger for Scotty Vegas.
I'll tell you what. I just did it about an hour and a half ago here.
You do it.
I gotta have bacon,
of course.
Right, bacon, tomato, lettuce, and onion, and that's all I need.
Okay. I am a bacon, grilled onions, barbecue sauce, Swiss cheese.
Maddie,
that is my dream.
That is what they call a Western.
I'm in.
And it's unbelievable.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Kind of high maintenance, to be honest with you.
What's that, TLC?
I said that kind of sounds like a high maintenance burger. I need grilled onions and barbecue sauce.
Is it really high maintenance? Put some grilled onions.
Grilled onions somehow sounded a little bougie for that.
You got to have the
ice
grilled
man.
onions. If you don't want those, maybe give me some of those onion petals. They are like those fried
The
onion
straws.
petals on those things. Yeah, that works as well.
All right.
All right.
There
We
you go.
saved his
TLC. You got a winner of this golf tournament this week?
Tiger Woods.
I mean, look, you're going to be mad at me, but I'm with Vegas. I mean, it's going to be Scotty Scheffler.
Goodness.
What?
This guy. If we would have done that, he would have been all over us.
Exactly.
All over us.
Well, way to go out on a limb, guys.
Exactly.
Thinking Scotty Scheffler. No, it's not that I'm rooting against him. I just want somebody to come out of
You're
nowhere.
an underdog guy.
No,
You're
that's
an
fine.
Not that
underdog guy.
Oberg's a real underdog, but
Yeah, he's not.
yeah.
All right, so you'll go with Scotty. Scotty Vegas will go with Scotty. We will be back tomorrow. Before we leave, if you ever miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. Coming up next, Timmy Hall in the house, and he's being joined by Dane Sanzenbacher. So don't move. Dane, what up, baby? I love you.
All right, we will be back tomorrow. Unfortunately, not in the secure lake house, halfway house, but back up on the bunker range, the mortar range, as I call it. Maybe someone will shank one into us. We'll find out. Listen tomorrow. We'll talk to you at high noon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Kroger brand 80% lean ground beef is on sale. 3-pound rolls are only $3.77 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that. And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Broadcasting from the